Hello and welcome to episode 84 of the XboxEra podcast. I'm joined as per usual by Shpeshal Nick.
What's going on?
And I have to give mad props to the man hiding in the background, pressing all the switches, holding all the buttons, making all the magic happen on your screen via the magic of StreamYard, Doncabesa. He sneaks in, he disappears. It's like magic. How you doing? Are you good, Nick?
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't spoken to you. It feels like it's been a long week.
Yeah, it has been. Week. It has been. Bit tired. Had a late night last night, so a little bit tired.
Yeah.
But, kids get up early, don't let you sleep in. Cat wakes you up, won't let you sleep in. Just, it is what it is. What do you do?
It is. It's definitely been an interesting week. I'm also knackered. Mostly for Halo. Tired, sacrificing lots of time to make videos, but it was good. It was worthwhile. Did you enjoy them? Did you watch them?
I haven't watched all of them. I haven't watched all of them yet. There was one I've watched in full, and I think it was the main one. That you did, because you've done a few. You've done like 4.
Yeah.
Four?
I did the
3,
preview. 4, a preview and 4 gameplay videos, so 5.
Oh, so 5. Okay, sorry. Yes, yeah. I've watched the main preview. It was good.
Yeah, I was quite pleased with the end result. I was quite pleased. Didn't get contacted. Didn't have to take anything down. I'll take that as a win. It was.
Oh, we didn't break any embargoes or anything.
No, it was complicated though. I will say it was. Like There was one point I went to bed, and in the original I had a 2 seconds as the camera swings from cutscene to transition that shows the doors opening and you see Zeta Halo for the first time.
Zeta,
Beta. But yeah, I was in bed and I was like, I'm going to take it out. So I literally came down at 1 a.m. the night before
and re-rendered it.
And was like, yeah, I'll just quickly re-render that bad boy.
Yeah, I've done that before.
It's bad. Like you just start borrowing in your brain because you're like, I don't want to break the rules. I don't want to get
my only experience with that was with the Artful Escape.
Yeah, because they were very much like, you can't have that.
You can't show anything past this point in the game, because that's obviously a very narrative-heavy game too. So almost anything you show is kind of a spoiler because it's literally an interactive story.
Yep.
So that was my only experience with that. They were like, you can't. And then there was some confusion about how long the video could be, but then there was a caveat on that, and oh man, that stuff is like
embargoes are scary.
Not fun.
Yeah,
they are.
It's not fun. Guess what I got back today?
What you got back?
Yeah, got back from the video team.
The book. Yeah, that's nice. I'll give you my address so you can send it to me.
Just look at the shine on it. I think I've got crushed blacks on my thing, but you can kind of see it. Yeah, it arrived back safely today, so it's now being cared for appropriately.
That's the Lorem Ipsum one, so send that one to me.
Well, I kind of feel like it should go to Free Drag, because
he'll probably want to read. He'll probably want to read proper words.
Well, yeah, but okay. Let me put it this way: if it all fails when we launch on Monday, and it all 30 days from now, no one wanted it. Free Drag should get this because he put in the lion's share of the work, and if there's no one else existing anywhere, it should probably go to him, right? Like,
what's the highest tier? The one that's got 5? How many pounds is it?
Well, the one that's got
the top tippity top. The tippity top.
I don't want to reveal that yet. It's an Xbox related number because you get to write your own. Xbox in it.
Because whatever that price is, I have to double it in Australian dollars, and I'm like, man.
But you're in it anyway. Like, you don't need that version.
Why?
Because you're already in the book.
Yeah, but I want the nice hardback, the one you just showed me. I want that.
Yeah, you can get that via a cheaper. There's 355 of those. There's other ways. That's like there's some perks to the more expensive ones. Anyway,
okay.
You get to meet Sick and Shift at the top tier. Yeah, that would be cool if we could have a real.
I would love if it wasn't for all of this stuff going on, I'd love to do like a meetup. I reckon that'd be cool. But we'd have to do it in Melbourne because Melbourne's the best.
I would willingly come to Melbourne for an Xbox.
Yeah, we'd have to do it in Melbourne because Melbourne's cafes and stuff like that are the best. Our weather is a bit dumb, but like even during winter, you guys apparently love our weather because we're not that cold. So we'd have to do it down here. We'd have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see the chat. I have a feeling it's going to be a quiet pod. I think this is the first weekend Halo Infinite's out, like, because it launched on Monday.
I have thoughts.
Yeah, well, look, hey, under the guise of what we've been playing, I suppose this is kind of on topic, right? So let's talk Halo. Let's get Halo kind of out of the way. And
that early?
Yeah, because we can talk about Halo, then we'll talk about the actual show from Monday.
Well, I haven't just been playing Halo though.
Oh,
so the Xbox Black Friday sale is on.
Oh,
and a game that I've wanted for a while, but again, I've become a patient man now. I don't have to buy a game the day it comes out, even one that I love the look of.
Yep.
So Immortals, Phoenix Rising.
Loved that game.
The gold edition was on sale from 150 Australian down to 65. I'm like, bought, started playing it yesterday. Real good. It's everything I thought it would be from trailers. Like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh wow, that's OG God of War meets Zelda.
Yep.
OG God of War meets Zelda. That's literally two of my favorite games of all time mashed into one. And that's what it is. And
it's quite funny at times as well.
Yeah, it is. And I like that Ubisoft seem to really get their Greek in terms of language and culture, and like more so than anyone else. Like I guess it's because they're from Europe. Like that first boss, that not the first boss, but the Cyclops, and his name was Mikros, which is like micro, like small, and I just found that funny because he was. Remember how he started big and then he shrunk little, and then he went. Just other little words that they say and all that sort of stuff. I'm enjoying it so far. It's a cool game.
Yeah, it's
and I know
it's the only open world game I've recently completed.
Yeah, and I was about to say it's my exception to the rule because I obviously go on about how I'm not a big fan of open world games and I tend to avoid them now, but there are exceptions to the rule, and because this is an open world, but it's not as over the top as others, especially for Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's very. I think what they focused on, you compare it to the other open worlds where the control scheme is overly clunky. This is proper arcadey kind of hack and slash. Cool.
OG
equipment.
God of War.
It's great. It's fun.
It's literally OG God of War mixed with Zelda, or maybe Breath of the Wild, but not quite. Yeah, I guess you could say Breath of the Wild. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, like a lot. And it's the gold edition, so I got all this extra stuff, got all the DLC, got
nice
everything.
It's a shame that I don't think it did well at launch, despite getting pretty favourable reviews. I don't know if we'll ever see a sequel, which is a bit of a bummer.
It's been on sale pretty much every month since it came out.
Poor thing.
Like, it's gone on sale. And it is, but this is the thing. Ubisoft should persist. Don't, that's one thing Sony's great at. The first Uncharted didn't set the world on fire. It wasn't this mega smash hit straight out of the gate like Halo was, like Gears was. It was a slow burn. And the first one sort of did some good things. I mean, I personally love the first one the best. And then Uncharted 2 came along and bang, it took off. Sometimes games need that extra iteration or two before they take off.
Yeah, refine the ideas down, distill it down.
Look at Forza Horizon. Microsoft persisted. And then we got to 3, and the franchise kind of really started to take off with 3. And then with 4, it was like, okay, this is now a mainstream franchise. And now with 5, it's like, wow, this is now the biggest Microsoft franchise. It's huge now.
They powered through 10 million players
in a week.
What do you think? Okay, I mean that's great, and massive congrats to the folks at Playground Games. What do you think Halo's going to do? Considering campaign Halo, so December 8th, what do you think it's going to do? Over 10
in terms of players.
Because a racing game and its general accessibility is far higher than a twitchy first-person shooter, even if it is Halo.
Yeah. I don't know if Halo will hit 10 million in a week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm very intrigued. I'm intrigued. We'll see.
Could. It depends. I mean, it's obviously the reviews are gonna play a role in that.
Yeah.
So if it gets, I mean, so far from all the campaign previews I've heard, it sounds like it's a really good campaign. Sounds like it's better than 4 and 5, which is what it needed to be. It needed to be better than 4 and 5. It's going to be hard to be better than people's memories of 2 and 3, because people's memories of 2 and 3 are very clouded. I just finished 2. 2's a terrible game. It is a legitimately terrible game.
Fantastic narrative, very boring levels. Like,
oh my god! Like, and it didn't help that I was playing on Legendary. That doesn't help.
That's horrible
at all. Like that makes it just even worse. But yeah, I just finished 2 on Legendary, and now I'm starting 3 on Legendary. But man, 2 is, oh wow! Like, and I didn't remember any of it. That's how forgettable the game was. I kept playing all these levels and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Not a single... The only familiar level for me in Halo 2 was the first one. That was it.
Really?
Yep.
I
was
remember...
the only one.
I remember lots of levels. Or I remember a lot of the Master Chief levels. The Arbiter levels kind of just... I was just... they become a bit of a slog. Like, I remember Delta Halo. I remember Cairo Station. But as the game progresses and gets a little bit... I remember Metropolis, where you're fighting on the bridge. I remember all of those ones, but all of the Arbiter ones just kind of mushed together, apart from the Heretic Space Station one, and that's pretty much it.
Actually, there was one other one I remember. The one where you're on the gondola thing, heading towards that station, and then you're crossing... Is that Delta Halo? And you're crossing paths with the other gondola, and then you've got to fight across them. That was another one I remembered. Where CE, I remember everything in CE.
Yeah.
I remember all of it. 3, I vaguely remember bits and pieces. But yeah, 3 I'm just starting. I'm trying to get 3 done. I think it's the last...
What? Are you just going on a big refresher course before Infinite drops?
No, I'm just trying to get them all done before Infinite.
Yeah.
So I've done ODST, I've done 4, I've done CE, and now I've done 2, all on Legendary in Master Chief. Nice. Now I'm trying to I need to find a way to get 3 and Reach done, but I probably won't. But we'll see how I go.
You can try.
We'll see how I go.
Yeah. So, Halo Infinite, yeah. It's interesting hearing all the comments and stuff about the campaign. I wish I could say more, but I can't. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been appreciated. Would have been appreciated if you had told me, your partner, about the fact that you were working on Halo. I'm not going to lie.
I did tell you. I told everyone.
Yeah, that's right. You told me when you told everyone else.
I told everyone simultaneously.
It would have been nice as your partner in this and co-host if you had said something to me earlier. I'm not overly appreciative of the fact that I was kept in the dark on that.
Microsoft lawyers are terrifying, like genuinely terrifying, and if they were to,
they don't come after me.
Yeah, but it's just it's risky. It's risky. I don't want to take any risks. I'm sure you can understand, but it was fun revealing that secret, and it's so nice to be able to just talk openly. And I spoke at great length about Halo yesterday on You Have Me at Halo, which was nice to finally join that and not just lie through my teeth. So yeah, definitely check it out if you want to hear lots of slightly more in-depth kind of discussion on my thoughts as I've been playing through it. I've just noticed we've got a little super chat over here.
Yes.
From Hytham G, who says, though you got Xbox BC right along with Final Fantasy
VII Remake.
This is for you.
Yeah.
What about
the partnership with Mr. Nintendo this fall before it's over? Is xCloud on Switch, or is it really GoldenEye? Your take? I think I've said this before. I'm not allowed to say what it is. It's, as far as I know, it's still happening. I could have very easily taken a fake W and said it was Banjo on Nintendo Switch Online, but that's not what it was. It's something else, which means I'm leaving myself open to more abuse. But yes, I'm not allowed to say what it is yet, and I'm still not. I mean, we're still in the fall technically, but I'm still not 100% on when that's getting announced. But as far as I know, it's still going ahead. Haven't been told otherwise. So yeah.
Be interesting to see. What happens. We've got another one from Joaquin Blanchet. I'm gonna go for the Shay here.
Blanchet.
Gents, Activision is having a fire sale, and you two are running Xbox. What teams and/or IPs do you buy?
Oh, this is easy.
Or are the waters too muddy? For me, it's True Crime, Prototype, and Singularity. Good choice. Accompanied by Raven Studios. What about you?
I'd be taking Raven straight away. I'd be taking High Moon.
Oh, Transformers.
Yeah. And I believe they also made Deadpool, the Deadpool game. I would take. They're probably the only. You'd probably take Infinity Ward. Let's be honest. Like they're a good
team
developer. They're a good. Like let's be real. Infinity Ward, even despite the exodus to Respawn, Infinity Ward are still a good developer. Yeah. Vicarious Vision, Toys for Bob. I mean, now we're just listing all of them. We're literally just buying them all. If I'm only picking 2 or 3, I'm taking Raven, High Moon, and probably Infinity Ward. I think Infinity. The third one is open, but probably Infinity Ward.
I'd probably be aligned with you on that one. I don't know about IPs though. I honestly can't remember what Activision own. Apart, I remember Singularity.
Yeah, I barely know too.
I'd take that. They own Crash, but I don't really care about Crash.
I'm not interested in Crash.
I
mean, you'd only consider Crash if you want Microsoft to have a mascot.
But they've got one that they're refusing to make games for.
Banjo, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They do, don't they? They have Banjo and they're not using Banjo, so...
Yeah.
And Banjo's better than Crash anyway. So, I mean... Yeah. Banjo was deemed good enough to be in Smash. So, what does that tell you?
And yet, there is no forthcoming remake, remaster, or new title in the franchise.
It's such easy money. It is such easy money. Like, seriously. It's just bonkers. Yes, Rithrik Rao, Raven made that awesome Wolverine game.
Yeah, they did.
Amazing Wolverine game. That one.
Okay, it's just got a copy on standby.
And where's their logo? There's their logo. The Raven logo's like just there. You can kind of see it between Marvel and Activision.
Yeah.
Such a good game. Like the best God of War clone going around. So good. So good.
It's a shame.
Not backwards compatible, unfortunately.
No, I don't think it ever will be now. Speaking of backwards compatible, you were right. 70 plus games.
Well, it's funny. And see, this is what I mean. I think I'm a pretty honest person. So back in January, I put the tweet out that said, hey, everyone, I've heard that backwards compatibility is going to get another batch later this year. And this is why I say to people, wait a bit. Have a look. I said it in January. It didn't happen until 10 months later. A lot of people see my teasers and my leaks and think it's going to get announced the next day for some reason. So I said that we were getting another batch of backwards compatible games, mix of OG and 360, which we did. But what I didn't say publicly and what I was told privately at the time, and I'm more than happy to admit this, and it means some people say, well, that means you were wrong, even though I'm saying it publicly now. Initially, back in January, I was told the batch would only be about 10 games.
Yeah.
That's the number I was given, like roughly 10 games. But clearly, as time has gone on since then, they've just said, okay. And I think we said this on our last podcast before the show. Was our last episode before the show?
Yeah.
When was the 20th anniversary show?
It was this Monday, just gone.
Yeah, that's
crazy as that sounds. It's been a long
I know. I'm like, wait, how long ago was it? as that show was coming closer, it was becoming more and more obvious that the number was growing. And we said on the podcast, it worries me that the number is growing because it makes me feel like this is going to be the final batch.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it's the final batch. It's sad. Like it's sad that it's the final batch. It's it's good that it was so huge, but there's still some notable omissions.
They got a Toki in, though. They got a Toki in, which
They did, and they got Gun Valkyrie, and they got the Dead or Alives, which I've been wanting for ages. Even though I'm having errors with Dead or Alive 1, I'm in a DM with Jason Ronald about it.
Oh, nice.
About fixing the issues with Dead or Alive 1. And I said to him yesterday, I'm like, oh, look, should I organise a refund just in case it can't be fixed before it leaves the window, the refund window? Because you know how you have a window, it's like 14 days or something.
Correct.
I'm like, should I organise a refund just in case? He's like, nah, we're going to fix it. Don't get a refund, we're going to fix it. I'm like, wow, okay. Amazing. Okay.
He's appearing on Iron Lords tomorrow.
He is, tomorrow.
You know, hey, if you're watching and you're not subscribed to the Iron Lords podcast for some reason, Jason Ronald will be appearing on there at some point tomorrow.
Yep. And we will also try and get him.
Oh, cool.
We will try. I will try and get him.
I will feel like to outbearded.
I'd like, oh yeah, for sure. My God. He's got beard enough for both of us and then some.
Yeah.
But yeah, the backwards compatibility was good. It was a good update. You know, you didn't stop me from buying games, unfortunately, like you said you would, but I did show some constraint. And I popped the discs in and installed the games off the discs.
Very smart.
And I will now wait for them to go games with gold or on sale. Like a Toki's $30.
I know. I went to buy it and I was like,
I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's like $12.99 UK money. I'm just like,
oh, it was like $30. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, sorry, I'm loving all these backwards compatible games, but I'm not paying $30.
Yeah.
How much was Manhunt? I think Manhunt's like 20. But in the end, if you look at games with gold, how many games have they given away that are OG Xbox games? Tons.
Yeah.
Like tons of them.
They just chuck them in there.
They just throw them in there. But yeah, I think eventually they'll give the majority of them away games with gold. But even if they don't, I'll wait and buy them on discount. They're not going anywhere, so...
Yeah.
I'll wait. I will wait.
Patience is a virtue, my friend.
Yep. Max Payne 3, I booted up.
I'm still waiting for my copy from Justin.
Yeah. But how's he going to get it to you? Because there's no gifting of 360 games.
It's not my problem. He owes me now.
But the problem is you can't buy it either.
No, I know.
You can't buy it digitally. It's been delisted. It's been made backwards compatible, but it's been delisted.
Oh, he's really.
I don't think you can actually buy it digitally anymore.
Yeah.
What did he just say?
No one else can.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I checked here in Australia and you couldn't buy it. So maybe it's one of those weird ones where only in Australia you can't buy it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Insomnia's in the chat. He's saying, "Hey, I bought Max Payne 3 a few days ago."
Then it might be an Australian thing because when what's that game by Ninja Theory, the 360 one?
Oh, Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Enslaved.
Love
that one was available to buy in the US, but not in Australia.
Wow.
And it took like 6 months to a year for it to become live to buy in Australia. So Max Payne 3 could be something like that. Like maybe it's gone off the store in Australia and it's going to come back. I don't know.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that game. I saw a lot of pictures going around of the 50-cent Blood in the Sand.
Yes, Blood in the Sand.
Going for like 200 quid on eBay and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is that actually a good game though? I haven't played it.
I haven't either, but I heard there's a lot of love for it.
I have.
Is it one of the
better than it should be? And they can hear me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay.
It's better than it should be. There you go.
It's better than it should
review from our review editor. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, while we're on the subject, I mean, backwards compatibility was great. What did you think of the 20th anniversary show? We haven't had a chance to get back
it was
around
good.
the horn. I know we did a live show for the show.
Yeah.
You happy with it,
But
looking back?
Yeah, it was what I expected. It was almost everything I expected. I expected them to look back at the 20th anniversary and look back at their history. And hey, did you see who was on? Did you see who was on? The Rock and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, which
were
we talked
both
about,
on.
which was so weird.
That's right. We said get The Rock on, and The Rock was on, and then you said get Snoop Dogg, and I mean Snoop Dogg was very brief, like super brief, but The Rock was like he made a full on appearance. Oh,
he was.
Oh
back.
no, I forgot.
What?
I said I was going to wear my polo. That's exactly like The Rock's.
Ah.
Should I go and get changed quickly?
I don't think it's that big a deal. Maybe next time.
Okay.
You know, like it's
Okay.
only a polo.
Oh,
Nick
I
Flicks
forgot.
is a good t-shirt.
I said I was going to wear... Nick Flicks.
Nick
I
Flicks.
said I was going to wear... Because I've got a polo that is... I just had a look at it the other day, and it's not exactly like The Rock's, but it's very, very close.
Are we talking
I
about
said
the
I
one
was
he
go-
wore back then, or the one he was wearing?
No, the one he wore on the 20th anniversary stream, that red one. I was going to wear it for this podcast, and I completely forgot.
Never mind.
I'm happy to take my shirt off and go get changed.
No, I'm fine with it. There's differing opinions in the chat, but
Yeah, I know. I can see it.
you
I
people
can see
are
it.
weird. What's wrong with you? Come on.
It's
Kids
funny.
should be watching.
Since we're talking about the 20th anniversary stuff, look, I thought it was a good show. It was everything I expected. So, but I was listening to XboxTwo yesterday.
Yeah.
I hope Rand is in our chat. He's probably not, but I hope he is, because I wanted
Did you give him any money?
trying to. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. He'll be here.
I was trying to say something to them, but it's hard because your chats get buried. And they were talking about Xbox One, and Rand was like, I'd love to know. I'd love to hear from Don Matrick. I'd love to know what they were thinking with all the decisions they made with Xbox One. And in my chats, I was saying to Rand, I'm like, isn't it obvious? Like, they saw where the market was going. They saw where it was going. Like, I fully understand every single decision they made with Xbox One. Fully understand it. Think about it. Smart speakers in every home. Are they not in every home right now?
Yeah.
They are.
I've got two.
Connect technology. It's everywhere. It's in your iPhone. It's in your car. Cars have them. Can you see all the cars now? They've got the cameras at the front to see all around.
Yeah.
Connect technology. It's everywhere. One guide. Google's copied it. Apple's copied it. One guide is everywhere. Digital. Digital has taken over. Digital has completely taken over. Microsoft's biggest problem, and I'll say it again, Microsoft's biggest problem was messaging.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
were terrible at it. Although,
That
to
was
offer you a rebuttal of sorts, a long time ago, and I can't name the person I was speaking to for obvious reasons, but the situation that they described to me was one of anarchy internally, where in a very Microsoft all pointing guns at each other from a department point of view. He was surrounded by people. Picture me, I'm Don. I'm like, how did it go, everyone? What's the market saying? And he was surrounded by people that like, they love it. They love it. It's great. Which is why there was this slight delay, and then the noise overcame. But you had people internally at Microsoft going, "What? We're not including a headset. Like, we're not doing this. What is going on? Who is making the shots?" And that's why he stepped down very shortly afterwards, because he was very much surrounded himself with people that just said yes, which is the worst kind of thing a manager can do in any way, shape, and form. If you don't have people that will tell you the truth, you're already screwed. Yeah, so I'd be very curious to see if he would ever appear on any history of Xbox program. No, boo. Even though he ran a 360 as a very successful, from a business point of view, gen.
He was basically the reason it hit 85 million.
Yeah.
Like, the 360 did a lot of its sales after he took over. A lot of its sales.
Take over. 2010?
2010. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. He obviously did and said some silly things, and that comes back to the messaging. But, like, Microsoft were ahead of the game. Like, like I said, they saw where the market was going. And they knew, it's just they positioned their gaming console the wrong way.
Yeah.
They forgot that, yes, while the Xbox One is the greatest media player that's ever existed to this day, they weren't selling a media player. They were selling a games console. Yeah, and they kind of forgot that. They just forgot that.
I think Phil said as much, right, in interviews. He's like, we lost sight of what we were actually there for.
Yeah.
I can see Britt in the chat saying, I thought a lot of the Xbox 360 sales was just because of the Red Ring of Death, which is, you know, I've often wondered that, like, how many more were sold because it was such a good console, people just had to have it replaced straight away. So they just. I
have a very controversial tinfoil hat opinion about the Red Ring of Death, which I'm not going to say publicly
because it's so tinfoil hat.
I mean, it is a little bit tinfoil hat. I say tinfoil hat, but it did actually happen to me. So it's not technically 100% tinfoil hat. Look, I'll tell the story about me without telling my controversial opinion.
Okay, shoot.
So my first Xbox 360 red ringed within 8 hours. I bought it on launch day, played Perfect Dark for like 8 or 10 hours straight. The next day, a mate came over, said, "Oh, show us your 360." Turned it on, red ring of death. I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" And, you know, I tried to fix it, couldn't fix it, red ring of death. And it was in a very cramped, at the time, I didn't know what fussy hardware the 360 was. And it was in a cramped, enclosed kind of space, getting hot, and it died. Couple of years later, I had just moved out for the first time, moved out from home, and I went to play my 360, red ring of death. I'm like, no, not again. Went through the whole process, this, that, the other, da-da-da-da. And then one thing I did that I didn't do the first time was made sure that all my cables were plugged in properly, including HDMI and power cable. Plugged them in, 360 started working. So I did a little bit of Googling online, and it's there. Like, if you read the 360 instruction manual, it says the red ring will pop up if your cables aren't plugged in properly.
Yeah, it can happen if the power cable isn't fully all the way
Even
in.
HDMI.
Oh, even really? So any cable? I didn't know.
Yeah, or again, we're now talking nearly 10 years ago. How long ago now? 13 or 14 years ago that I read it. But even I think the HDMI cable, if it's not in properly, it can red ring. If it's not in properly.
Yeah.
Now that's all I'll say. I'll stop there. But anyway, yeah. 360, great console.
I had no red ring of deaths.
I just had the one.
Time I had a 360.
Just the one.
Never had a failure.
I know. I only had the one, and that was the launch one. I ended up owning, over the span of that generation, I owned 10 Xbox 360s. Wow. Not at the same time. Like, sold the original and then bought the first Elite limited edition. Sold that and then bought the Star Wars one and then bought the Resident Evil. Like, in total, I bought and owned 10 360s. Only had one red ring of death.
Yeah.
Only one.
You just got to sacrifice cats to the altar of Microsoft and you'll be fine.
Yep.
But yeah. So, I mean, it was a good show. I'm really looking forward to the documentary more than anything else.
Yes.
Announced.
The documentary looks great.
Because unusually it's not a Microsoft-produced documentary. They've let people in that do independent documentaries. So you'll get the good and the bad and the ugly and the crazy and how this thing happened. And it's got Seamus in. And obviously he's working with us for the book, which is going to be interesting. Yeah. He's with us. So
didn't hear from him about the podcast?
Not yet, no. But he is a CEO of a much bigger company than us.
He was on Unlocked.
Yeah, I saw he was. Yeah,
he was on Unlocked.
Why isn't he on ours?
So he obviously doesn't have that much of a problem being on podcasts.
No, we'll get him. We'll try and get him on. It'll be good fun.
It would be.
Yeah, so it was a good show. I agree. It was a lot of fun to look back and enjoy and think about that time in gaming. So
it's great.
Yeah, I think so. We've got what have we got? We've got all of that news.
We talked about Forza Horizon.
We talked about Forza. The Game Awards. Should we talk about the Game Awards? Should we talk about the snubbing, the snubs of the Game Awards?
Seriously, like,
can you explain something to me? Can you explain it to me? Just help me, guide me through this process. Guide me through it, and chat, help me out. If you have an opinion, if you can help me understand how this works, or if I'm wrong. Jeff Keighley is the producer of the Game Awards, but he does not vote or have any influence on the jury that selects the games for the various nominations and categories. Am I correct officially?
Well, then who picks the jurors, or who picks the voters?
I don't know how that works.
It would have to be Jeff, wouldn't it?
That makes sense. So maybe there's selected media outlets that are picked to vote. Okay, so
they must be very selective.
But here's where I'm really, really confused, particularly around Forza Horizon 5. And yeah, I did see Jez's article, and it was really, really good. And it's funny, DeoGame wrote something similar, and we were talking about whether we can get around to getting it out there, or should we do it via Community Corner? And then Jez just ranted anyway, and it kind of was very similar. But yeah, so we got the jury. The jury votes on the games that they feel deserve to be in the various categories: best racing, best accessibility, all of that jazz. And then there is Game of the Year, the best game.
Change the name.
The year.
Change the name.
What do you think they should change it?
Don't call it Game of the Year, because it's not. If you're excluding genres, then it's not Game of the Year. Call it single player narrative experience. Like, give it a name that indicates what it is. It's an award for the third person over the shoulder single player games.
Metroid Dread's in there. There's always an outlier. Player. I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's always a token indie, isn't there?
Yeah.
Was there a token indie this year?
I don't think there was in Game of the Year.
Okay. There's usually a token indie, but I don't think this year there was one. I'm surprised Death's Door.
I'm very surprised Death's Door is not in there.
I mean, mine is still The Artful Escape, and I saw that The Artful Escape was nominated for for visuals, audio, and one something about newcomer. There was some other third nomination for The Artful Escape, which is good.
Yeah.
But just call it something else. Call it, like, they've got. I like the way the Golden Globes does it. The Golden Globes has Best Picture Comedy and Best Picture Drama. Good. Remove the ambiguity out of it.
Yeah.
Best Picture Comedy, Best Picture Drama. Where the Academy Awards just has Best Picture, but we all know that there are certain movies that will never be included in Best Picture. That's why I don't bother with the Academy Awards anymore. That's why when I heard the Academy Awards were going to do Best Blockbuster or whatever it was, I was rapt. I'm like, good, because these are the movies everyone cares about. Like, this is the award I wanted to see. Like, just make it clear cut. Like, it feels so arbitrary. Like, as an industry, we unfortunately use Metacritic as this bastion of measuring quality of games, yet we don't use Metacritic in the Game Awards.
Yeah. Even Metacritic had a dig at this. Did you see this?
Yeah.
And that's what I don't get, is across all of these outlets, I think Forza Horizon 5 scored ridiculously high across the board. You know, there were very few outliers or low scores. You know, it has had, from a player's perspective, the most votes, the most players of any game that's launched this year in such a short time frame. And yet the fact that it's not even in the running, the fact that across, you know, the US with all of I'm looking at the list of the different jury panel outlets and the UK and everywhere else, not a single, you know, there wasn't a majority that were like, that is the best game this year. Critically, commercially.
Yet those same reviewers gave it scores that made it the best rated game of the year.
I don't understand how it's not in there. It's so bizarre. It's so
just
crazy.
And the funny thing is, this is coming from someone who hasn't even played the game. For me, it's just it's the system. It's the principle of the thing. Like, if you're gonna Metacritic now is so ingrained in the industry that people are fired or hired on it. People are given bonuses on it. Like, Metacritic, I've seen Jeff himself say, "Oh, congratulations on the Metacritic." And the Metacritic is so part of the industry, yet all of a sudden for the Game Awards, oh no, Metacritic doesn't matter. Well, hold on a second. So when does it matter? For me, I've said it 100 times. I don't care about Metacritic, as in I don't let Metacritic tell me what I'm going to play and what I'm going to like.
Yeah.
But what I see, I'm just going on what I see out there in the industry. Everyone treats Metacritic like this is it. Metacritic is it. That's all that matters. Yet we have a Game Awards, and you have a game that's the highest Metacritic, but it's not considered for Game of the Year. It's like, well, hold on a second. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's such an odd one, and there is a part of me that also just really despises the fact that it's in early December. But
it's true though. That the Oscars are in January.
February. It should be in the new year.
That's why the Oscars are partially why the Oscars are in January, because you get the whole year of movies to look at. It makes sense. That's why you should have the Game Awards in January, because then every game of 2021 gets included. Like, what would happen what happens next June if God of War Ragnarok, and they come out and they say, well, God of War Ragnarok is releasing on the 15th of December.
Yeah.
What do you reckon happens then? We'll find out. We'll find out. Let's see what happens.
That'd be so funny.
But it's just, and to me, it's actually the one time that using Metacritic makes sense, because it makes it black and white. It takes the ambiguity out of it. It takes the conspiracy theories out of it. Oh yeah, what are the top 6 highly rated games of 2021? Yep, they're your 6 nominees.
Yeah, Done. But then different outlets have different weighting, depending, and they don't share that weighting. So, us giving...
But that's the same thing with the jurors. So what happens if... So what if Kind of Funny's representative on the Game Awards panel is Greg Miller? I mean, it's no secret that Greg Miller prefers PlayStation. So odds are he's probably going to go, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. It's an odd...
Isn't it the same thing? I'm just saying, this isn't a knock against Greg Miller, but it's not a secret that he prefers PlayStation. So if he's the one from Kind of Funny that's on that jury, then naturally it's more likely that Ratchet or Returnal are going to get that vote from that outlet.
I was surprised to see that Returnal did not make the cut, right, in Game of the Year. It wasn't there. I
thought it would have been... even though I didn't play Returnal, I liked Ratchet. I was surprised to see Ratchet over Returnal, because the Ratchet and Clank games have been basically the same game since Tools of Destruction in 2007, and I say that as a person that's played them all. They're all effectively the same game, but with some tweaks here and there, a new gimmick, a new this, a new that. And that's why I love them, because they're fun, and they've got zany weapons and all that. I love those Ratchet games.
Yeah.
But Rift Apart is the same as all those other ones, and all those other ones weren't deemed good enough to ever be nominated for Game of the Year in their respective years. What made this year different?
Very pretty, and there's not a lot out.
But so were those other ones for their time.
Yeah.
So were those... Tools of Destruction for its time in 2007 was a gorgeous game. Absolutely gorgeous. But, I mean, to be fair, 2007 was also Halo 3, Call of Duty, Mass Effect, Bioshock. It was competing with some serious stuff. But my point remains, those Ratchet games, and there's been a lot of them, have never been deemed apparently good enough to be nominated for Game of the Year, yet this year somehow it was.
Yeah.
I would have thought that the Sony game sneaking in would have been Returnal, I would have thought.
Yeah.
I say that as someone who's played Ratchet and not Returnal.
Yeah.
I've never played Returnal. I don't know if Returnal's good or bad. I heard there were some issues technically at the start, but most people I knew that had played it liked it. Yeah. Rand talked about how much she liked it, and others talked about how much they like it. where I feel Ratchet came and went.
Yeah.
So everyone hyped up Ratchet like insane people because of the graphics and nothing else. And then Ratchet came out and just disappeared from the conversation, where Returnal just sort of persisted. I feel like Returnal stayed in the conversation longer than Ratchet did. So I was surprised that it was Ratchet that snuck in. I thought it would have been Returnal.
So out of the 6 nominees for Game of the Year, so Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, and Resident Evil.
Ratchet will win. Ratchet will win.
Ratchet will win?
Yeah, the Sony game got in, so Ratchet will win.
I think it will be It Takes Two.
I've never played it. I haven't played It Takes Two, so I can't. I don't know if it's a great. I don't know if it's a good or bad game. I haven't played it.
It is absolutely incredible. Great game.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I just, as soon as I saw a Sony game got in, I'm like, well, there's your winner. There's your winner. I'm just saying,
Deathloop could win as well, but that's like a poison chalice, isn't it?
Well, that's a tough one. Like, what happened? Because it's a Sony exclusive, but it's made by Microsoft. So, it's a
tough one.
That's an interesting nomination there.
For the first time, 20 nominations across.
23 or 26?
Over 20, yeah. I don't know what the number
I think it was 23 or 26
for Xbox and Bethesda. If there's a great way of really just showing the difference this first party team is now starting to make as they hit their stride, I mean, there it is in black and white.
Yeah, it was 20 nominations total.
Wow.
Oh, it was 20. I thought it was for some reason I thought I saw 23 somewhere.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
It's nice to see.
And they'll only get better. They'll only get better.
This will get harder and harder every year, folks.
Yep. It'll only get better. But I've always said, remember, we've had this discussion before this year. We've said, I fully believe that a Microsoft first-party game can be nominated. I just don't think they'll ever win. We'll see this year. Prove me wrong, Jeff. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
I got the nomination part. Let's see if it wins.
So, in other news, moving on from the Good Old Game Awards, I am looking forward to the reveals, though. By the way, this is going to be a fun show, and yes, we'll.
That's all I watch it for. I only watch it for the reveals and the world premieres and all that sort of stuff.
That's a very good impression. I've got to give you kudos.
Was it?
For that.
Thanks.
It wasn't bad.
Thanks.
You got the premieres. You got the ears.
World premiere.
Yeah, it sounds like he's. I just had a mental image of the guy sitting on the toilet. World premieres.
like he's got emphysema.
But in other news, one little piece of news came out from last generation, or about a game from last generation.
Oh yeah,
Kamiya from Platinum Games.
Hideki Kamiya.
Yeah. Or Kamiya, if that's the better way to say it.
Yes.
He explained why Scalebound didn't go the way it should have gone. He did
tried to tell people,
and he said, "Sorry."
I've said it. He said, "Sorry, I've tried to tell people on this very podcast that story ain't what you think it is. Everyone wants to blame Microsoft. That story ain't what you think it is."
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but that is the case, right? I remember reading all about how Microsoft were middle managing and, pushing Platinum too hard for milestones and beyond.
And they forced multiplayer and they did this and Microsoft were meddling.
Yeah.
No, they weren't. I tried to tell everyone. No one wanted to listen.
Wow.
Oh, and I'm not saying the rest of the story that I know.
Yeah, it's probably.
Don't worry about that. We'll see if Hideki Kamiya wants to tell the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Or at least what I was told about the story. At least what I was told about the story anyway. Maybe that's wrong.
Yeah. Scalebound, it's dead, folks. Don't think about it anymore. It's never coming back. I can see Vidya Santoso. Can we have the world premiere for the book? You can have another world premiere. I did briefly show it, but there it is in all its glory. Games. I'll try and do this in a cool way. It's really difficult to show off a book on camera, but yeah. Book.
Rithric Rouse saying, Jez said on the podcast Microsoft's to blame on some part. Of course, they'd be partially to blame. It's a two-way street, but the way it was being made out was like it was all on Microsoft, and Microsoft pressured them, and Microsoft forced this, and Microsoft forced that, and the way it was made out, it was like they were the biggest bullies in the industry, and like it was all their fault, and it was not.
Yeah,
it most certainly was not.
I mean, don't get me
and
wrong.
There you go. He's come out and he's apologized. So obviously there was. I mean, all you have to do is look since. Look. So what's Platinum done since then? They haven't exactly set the world on fire, have they? And they haven't become known for getting games out on time since then. I mean, we're still waiting on Bayonetta 3. We're still waiting. Like, it just feels like maybe Platinum are a studio who were a studio of their time, if that makes sense.
To keep up with the technology.
Yeah, like they were a studio that excelled during Gen 6 and excelled during Gen 7. They were brilliant, you know, Vanquish and... Actually, well, hold on. Was that... Vanquish was Platinum, wasn't it?
Yes. Published by Sega, though, right? Yeah.
You know, and Bayonetta 1 and... all the, you know, I mean, Wonderful 101, I wasn't a huge fan of. But they were most certainly a studio of that time, and it feels like they've just maybe struggled a bit
to come up
going forward into Gen 8 and Gen 9. But I don't know enough about development to really say one way or the other. But it's just how, from the outside looking in, that's how it looks. It looks like they just struggled post Gen 7 to keep up. And maybe overextended themselves a bit too. But their Gen 7 output was
incredible.
Amazing. Metal Gear Rising. Unbelievable stuff. I love Vanquish. Vanquish is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And I was one of the people that thought Scalebound looked good. I thought it looked okay.
I still kind of want to play...
I know. That first demo. I want to play that first demo. The second demo, the one with the crab, that was, when I saw that crab demo, that's when I was more like, I don't know about how this game is looking right now. But that first demo was like, this looks cool. This game looks really cool.
Yeah.
At least to me. But yeah, you know, it was nice of Hideki Kamiya to come out and say, look, you know, sorry, apologies. I wish he'd apologise to me for
blocking you on Twitter, for
blocking me over Forza
game.
Horizon 2. God, imagine that. Imagine that. Like, someone offers you a free game that you asked for, and then you block them.
Yeah, it's so odd. That's such a weird thing to do.
What is
very
that?
Strange. Very strange.
Like,
it's a very strange attitude
seriously.
to have. But yeah. So I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but I think that's pretty much like all of the really interesting news. There's only one thing left to talk about.
Yeah. Only one thing left.
Do you want to just do you want me to just take it and you can just gloat? Do you want to do it now? Do you want to get it over with? I'll just.
Oh, we're talking about the multiplayer thing?
Yeah, I'll just strap in. It's fine.
I mean, I didn't know. This isn't like a leak thing. This
I know you just said I think they should. And
I just said for months, I've said separate the multiplayer from the single player. Like, it just makes too much sense. Like, and all of you, like, it was 1 on 10. It was like, nah, they can't do it. But here's the thing, right? And this is what I get. Despite what people think about me, I am more than happy to debate with people, and I am more than happy to take on opposing opinions. But I need your opinion to come from a place of logic. When your reasoning for something is, well, just because, that's not good enough. Like, when all of you were telling me they can't separate it, that was your reason. Oh, they can't separate it. Why? Because they've never done that before. But that's not a good enough reason to not do it now.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, the reason I didn't personally want them to separate out was because there is a wonderful feeling of joint discovery and fun. You know, a Halo release is like a real special, like, whoa,
But
you know,
again,
the hype
that's
beforehand. But the fact that they did it as a really, really leaky, totally ruined the surprise shadow drop.
But that was the same as the free-to-play thing. The free-to-play announcement was leaked early as well.
Yeah, and they just had to come out and be like, yes, we are.
Yes, it's free-to-play. But, and that's the thing, like, once I knew Halo's multiplayer was free-to-play, I'm like, even back then, I was like, they've got to release it separately now. It's a separate product. Once it's a free-to-play thing on its own, it is technically a separate product. And when I saw the overwhelmingly positive reception to that first tech test, that's when my petition went into overdrive. I'm like, get this out first.
Yeah.
Let it get out there and set that good first impression and let everyone fall in love with Halo again. That way, if your campaign turns out to be a disaster, everyone's already fallen in love with the multiplayer and the multiplayer won't be affected by a bad campaign. If your campaign is great, like it looks like it is, bonus, everybody wins. They've got great multiplayer and they've got great campaign. Win-win. What's the problem? You haven't lost anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just... My reasoning came from a place of quite reasonable logic.
Yeah.
Did it not?
And hey, you were totally right. So...
Like, it's just obvious.
Yeah.
It's getting good press. It's getting good buzz. Get it out there. Get it out there while everyone loves it.
And I would like to take this opportunity to remind the chat that if you haven't watched all of the gameplay and the preview that we dropped on, when was it?
Yesterday.
When was it, Monday? Yesterday.
Yeah,
we dropped it yesterday, Friday morning, or midnight for you guys. But yeah, go watch it because there's lots and lots of fun in there. And I can see what just happened. Nick asked John how the campaign was. I can't talk about anything beyond the first 4 levels, which were all...
He didn't even he didn't even tell me that he was working on the game. You think he's going to tell me how the campaign was? What do you mean?
Well, I can tell, you know, it's good. It's good. It's good stuff. Very, very excited for everybody else to kind of get a feel for it, etc., etc.
And they were smart. They labeled it a beta.
Yeah,
They labeled it a beta. It was smart because what that does is, so by calling it a beta, it covers them, right? Even though it's not a beta. But anyway, they called it a beta because it covers them. So if anything goes wrong, if there's issues, if there's whatever, they can say it's a beta. But then what calling it a beta also does is it protects them against yourself and Jesse, who just couldn't come to grips with the idea of it being separated because it's a beta. So it's not really the full product being released early. So they covered all their bases brilliantly, I thought. Having said that, I still don't believe it's a beta. I still think it's the full thing and they're just labeling it a beta. Like, to me, the second they start taking money off you, it's not a beta anymore.
Yeah.
It's not a beta as far as I'm concerned, because, like, unless you're willing to believe that Fortnite was in early access for 4 years.
Yeah.
While it was just raking in millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and da-da-da-da. The term early access and beta mean nothing now. They mean nothing. So back in the day when we had betas, we had proper betas. Back in the early days of when this stuff started, they were proper betas that were like 6 months before, a year before. Terrible shit.
Halo
like the
5
Gears
had
one. Remember
one.
the Gears?
Halo
Yes,
5,
Halo
year
5 had a
before.
proper beta that was like a year before, visually really bad, just like the Gears one. Remember the Gears one? And then as time went on, these betas became more and more polished, started releasing closer and closer to full release, and they just became demos. They just became demos for the full product.
I agree with that.
And that's what this is. It's 3 weeks from release. Yeah. It's the full thing. They just labeled it as a beta to protect themselves.
I did get a few bugs tonight, I have to admit, when I was playing. I played a bunch before.
I haven't had any. I had one on launch day where I bought credits and the actual credits didn't appear until I restarted the game.
Same bug tonight. As well as Oh man, there's things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
We do want to pause for a second though. We've got a couple of super chats from
Yes.
Gecko
Gamer.
Gamer.
I
So
called him
happy.
out, remember?
Yeah, I remember. I was about to say. So Gecko Gamer says, I just want to say I'm very happy to see Viva Pinata Party Animals on back compat. I mentioned
him on our stream.
Yep.
I remembered you, see?
We were like, Gecko!
Yeah, I remembered you, see? I also enjoyed the Halo Infinite beta, and he also said, long time since I enjoyed a multiplayer game. Yes, Halo Infinite, as it did 2 tech tests ago, still feels amazing.
Yeah.
That was never in question with Halo Infinite. Like, feels amazing. I
have some quibbles now, though. Like, I've been playing it enough. I've got some quibbles. I mean, okay, let's get the ranty one out of the way.
I have 3 quibbles.
Let me guess the first one. Can I guess the first one?
Yep.
Does it begin with a B?
Yep.
Is it an atl pass?
Yep. I'm sorry, but again, and it's born from my belief of the fact that it's not a beta. So, you know, and again, I hate putting on my tinfoil hat, but sometimes it's hard not to. Like, a part of me feels, I'm sure it's not the case, but a part of me feels like they've done it intentionally so that they can respond quickly and have everyone talk about how great they are for responding so quickly. I am sorry, but they already received feedback on the Battle Pass twice, during the first tech test and during the second tech test. They were told during both those tech tests the progression on the Battle Pass is too slow. And they ignored that feedback twice. You want to know why? They ignored it, A, because no one was spending real life money.
Yeah.
B, the noise wasn't loud enough because hardly anyone was playing it. As soon as they opened it up to everyone in the beta now that's released, and there's now millions of people playing it, giving over their hard-earned money to play 5 games in a row to move that much on the Battle Pass, they're hearing it. I'm sorry, but they're responding so quickly. No, they're not. No, they're not. They already got this feedback months ago, and they ignored it.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, but to me, there's no excuse for it.
I agree, though.
I
think progression is the biggest problem. They've put a band-aid in place now, and indeed, tonight as I was doing some weeklies and dailies and things like that, I saw the bar actually go up a level, and it's looking much better. But I think my quibbles are, we've done one of yours. You've got 3. I might end up with 3. So my other multiplayer quibble is, and it's kind of alleviated here. So just in case people didn't know this, customizing your Spartan has always been a core staple of any Halo multiplayer game. I love lots of things that they've done. Like, I love the very Reach style custom sets and the fact that you can put your emblem on your chest plate and stuff like that. I love all that stuff. I hate that certain helmets are locked to core armors and you can't mix and match between lots of different bits and pieces. I really dislike that they give you virtually nothing to play with. If that changes on actual launch,
what do you mean they give you nothing to play with?
They give you your one armor set to start off with, and you can change 5 colors, but you haven't got any.
Because you unlock it in the Battle Pass.
Yeah, I understand that, but there's no base variety to start with at all.
Yeah, I just assume that's based on the Battle Pass thing.
It's all how modern games go, and I guess it just I know that's a business thing. It enables people to have maps for free and servers and all,
and they can monetize it.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, I've already bought an outfit. I've already bought the space station. Oh, that carbon black.
Yeah, it's very cool.
With the yellow, the gold one. Oh, gorgeous!
But do you know what though?
Stunning.
Super cool, but can't change the logo on it. You have to wear that team's
logo.
Yes,
I know. That was a bit disappointing. I couldn't.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just makes me a little bit like I dislike.
Yeah. I understand that. That part, I was a bit disappointed. It's not enough to genuinely bother me, but
no,
it was mildly disappointing that I couldn't take that logo and put the one I wanted on there.
Yeah,
I get why. Because the assumption is that you're buying that skin because you like the esports team Space Station Gaming and you want to rep them. That's the assumption. In reality, no. People just love how cool that bloody skin looks and wanted their Spartan to be those colors. I'm also a little bit disappointed in that I tried to add the helmet attachment to that skin and I couldn't.
Yeah,
but again, that's like,
and you can't tweak it.
yeah,
It's
that to me is.
There is
feels like
the
I
one
didn't-
thing, John, that you showed us, which is unlocking stuff through the campaign.
That's exactly
is
what I
if-
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they came out at the same time, that does alleviate the base issue problem a little.
Yeah. So if folks weren't aware, you can find Mjolnir lockers throughout the campaign and across Zeta Halo.
Something I was hoping they'd do. I'd been saying it ages
Also
ago.
tied to
And-
achievements as well.
Yeah, and there's armor unlocks tied to those achievements too. So it should feel a little bit more variety in terms of look and style as we get out into the real world post December 8th. So that's one good thing. So that was one of mine. So we'll go back to
That's
you.
very minor. That's very minor.
It is. I love a lot about the game, but the biggest one is yet to come, and it's genuinely made me very frustrated. So I'll talk about it in a sec. Go on, you do yours.
For me, the one that's even worse than the Battle Pass is that there's no dedicated Slayer playlist. That is insane to me. I'm sorry. Multiplayer shooters, at their core, are about the act of killing other players online, yes? In what was once called Team Deathmatch, and now everyone has their own names for it. Halo's name is Slayer.
Yeah.
That's what multiplayer shooters are all about. Don't force me into objective modes that I don't want to play and have no interest in playing.
As a big fan of objective gameplay, when we have an objective playlist and all of you Slayer tryhards don't ever come in and our population hovers at around 3,000 and you can never get good games, thank you, 343, for forcing people to play something with a little variety.
But what happened to player choice?
I don't care right now.
What happened to player choice?
Will probably come on launch day.
Because it's a beta.
They're lumping things into
It's not
these
a beta.
slots under that beta moniker. I reckon we'll see different playlists. I don't know. I just reckon we'll see those playlists expand out so that babies that need to one-shot kill things in SWAT can do it in their own safe space without.
And as an extension, of no ranked playlists, there's no SWAT. And the dumbest part about SWAT, here's the dumbest part about SWAT missing. This is how dumb it is. Ranked Arena Slayer is already 75% SWAT. It's already there. There's no radar. BR starts. All they're missing is the shield being removed. SWAT's already there. And they're just not putting it out there. I'm just like, why? Why? Let me play SWAT, or at the very least, just let me play Slayer. I was playing Strongholds yesterday, and you know what, John? That's the funny thing. You all want to give me crap about wanting Slayer and SWAT. When I play objective modes, I actually play the objectives. I legitimately play the objectives when I am forced into those modes. But you know what happens? No one else does.
I don't know.
And all that makes...
The objective games I've played, I've been quite lucky where I come up against people that want to play the objective. We've had.
I'm not even good at Halo. I'm not even good at Halo unless it's SWAT. And yet I've always been at the top of my team in objective modes because I'm the only one playing the objective. I'm the only one. And it makes me hate the objective modes even more than I already do.
We've got...
if you get a squad, it's great. If you get a squad, like Oddball, I enjoy. When I play Oddball with a squad of 4 and we coordinate and we protect each other, fun as. Fun as.
The best version of Oddball that we used to play in custom games throughout sort of Halo 3 is Lowball, where instead of the team cumulatively has to have 100 points or 200 points or whatever of seconds of holding the ball, every player on the squad has to have a minimum of 50. So it becomes this kind of you're all-star Slayer player.
Wow.
Right, I've got the ball, I've got my 50. Right, now I'm all about the kills. I can ignore the ball.
That would be crazy.
It's so much more fun, and I think low ball is the better game type overall because it allows for this. Because then you might have your weakest player, and then suddenly you've got your strong Slayers. They're right. We are protecting the ring around this one ball, but you have to do it in sequence. So it creates this really fun kind of vibe, but I don't know if it would work in a matchmaking environment.
It has to the thing with these objective modes is you have to play them with the squad. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And I hate that power seed mode. Hate it with a passion. Also, bring back King of the Hill. King of the Hill is better than Strongholds. King of the Hill is better. I don't like Strongholds because I didn't like playing Domination in Call of Duty either. Because again, if people aren't coordinating, it's the worst. But the beauty of King of the Hill was that, you know what? If you're a bit of a lone wolf and you're good enough, you can drag your team along.
Yeah.
But in Strongholds, you
I
can't.
Understand that. Yeah, in Strongholds, you need team play.
And that's why Oddball's great. Because even Oddball, to an extent, if you're good enough, you can carry your team.
Yeah.
Because you can kill people with the ball.
Yeah.
And in King of the Hill, if you're good enough to fend everyone off, you can take the game on your own.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. But once a game mode or a game forces you to play with friends, to me, then it becomes not enjoyable because I can't always play with friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's fair.
That's just
fair.
I need SWAT to come in.
We do have a hot take here from Romello. Thank you for the $10. They say 10 maps, a couple of game modes, restrictive customization, aggressive monetization, delayed co-op, and Forge. 6 years. People are giving 343 too much of a pass right now. This is my hot take. At least you've.
I can understand that.
I can understand.
I can understand that. Yep.
I mean, on a very human level, obviously, you know, as Nick alluded to, and per the video that I finally got to kind of drop earlier this week, I've been working with a lot of the 343 team. I've had a lot of interaction. I got to go to the studio in 2020 and you know, see some cool things that I can't talk about. But
not even with me.
Not even with you, my friend. Everybody on that team, and I can tell you this, this is fact. You know, I've witnessed it, I've seen it, because I know that people get labelled 343 apologists, but every single person that I've met at 343 absolutely wants to nail Halo and make every single Halo fan the happiest Halo fan they've ever been. So when we label it and bullet point it like that, and just reel off this stuff and say, oh, you know, not good enough. You know, you're not taking into account a lot of the stuff. And also, frankly, although you've seen some of the previews, I don't think you understand the scope of the campaign yet. So, you know, I will leave that there, but just bear that in mind.
Look, I totally understand where MLO's getting from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so do I.
Coming from. But even I'll say, look, there's two reasons 343 are getting a pass. Number one, and remember, this is coming from me now, not John. Number one, the game feels amazing. Feels amazing. Like, in the end, video games are about, or should, live and die on how they play. And Infinite thus far feels amazing to play. People want to enjoy it more and love it more because of how amazing it feels. That's why I'm so frustrated with everything I'm frustrated with. Because I want to love the game more and they're stopping me from loving it. With silly basic stuff that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I can understand.
Like, you know, like with the Battle Pass thing, and we didn't talk about this before. What frustrates me the most about the Battle Pass thing is I want to know what was going through their brains when they decided to make the pace of the Battle Pass slower than a snail. Like, people are like, oh, but they don't want people to finish the Battle Pass too quick because it goes for 6 months. Who cares? Who cares? You paid for the Battle Pass because you enjoy the game and you want the cosmetics that come with the Battle Pass. Whether I unlock them in 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months, why does 343 care? They already got my money. They got my money. Epic doesn't care. Epic doesn't care. I went up 4 levels in one match in Fortnite. Now, I'm not saying it should be like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it should match Fortnite. But Fortnite is happy to let you get to level 100 in like no time. And guess what? It doesn't make people bounce off the game.
Yeah, as long as the gameplay is there, then it should.
Like, it's like 343 have forgotten why they're doing it in the first place. Like, the reason someone is buying a battle... Like, why are you buying the Battle Pass? Why'd you buy it?
Because I really like customizing my Spartan and there's some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I bought it.
A lot of the cool stuff is 80 levels away and it takes...
That I may never get to.
Long time.
Like, people should be upset about the Battle Pass because 343 are intentionally and artificially trying to stop you getting there for some reason. That, like, it's like they're misunderstanding. That it's like they have this belief that you'll get to level 100 too quick and stop playing the game. But it's like, but I've bought the Battle Pass because I love playing the game and I want to play it and I want to unlock the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't stop playing. Like, I keep playing Rocket League, and man, you know what level on that Battle Pass I got to?
What
like 270.
Wow.
So, you know what Rocket League does, and I think Rocket League does it probably the best. Oh, and Fortnite does it similar. Once you've unlocked everything in Rocket League, and you hit the top level of the Battle Pass, you keep going, and what it starts to do is, it starts to give you other variants of the stuff you've already unlocked. That's cool. I've got like 57,000 of this certain type of wheel in all these different colors.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I love Rocket League, so I'm going to keep playing it. Yeah, I love Halo. I'm going to keep playing it. Like, people aren't suddenly just going to bounce off the game because they got to level 100 in the Battle Pass. Like, we've paid for it. We gave you our money. Why does it bother you how quickly we unlock the cool stuff that we want?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I think that's just valid criticism. I think that's valid.
My God,
I wish it was more faster than it is. I've just realised we missed another super chat. Gecko is on it today. They say Halo should use the badges that you get for triple kills and other multi kills to progress your battle pass along challenges. Yep. That would be cool.
Agreed.
Like, you collect them and you can spend them on a level and stuff like that. But then, just to counteract that, then you would get people gaming the system, because that's what video gamers do. How can we break these rules or force it to do a behavior that we don't want, to force themselves into playing objective games, getting matched together by pure luck, and then, you know, if there was an objective player, you keep searching until you find each other, and then you ignore the objective and you multi-kill each other over and over and over to get those badges to then game the system. That's probably why something like that doesn't exist. I know.
But to me, that's not going to happen often enough for it to become an issue, though. Like, don't
set video gamers.
No, I disagree with setting rules around exceptions. Don't set your rules around exceptions. Set them around the majority. So most of us are there because we love playing Halo. Most of us are there because we want to unlock the awesome stuff. Don't make it yuck for us.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go as fast as Fortnite either. Don't get me wrong. Fortnite's out of control. Like I said, I went up 4 levels of the Battle Pass in one match. And it just kept going. Ka-chung, 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 ka-chung. Went crazy. I'm not saying go that fast, but there's got to be a happy medium. The other day, I played 3 matches in a row, and the bar did not move.
Yeah.
It didn't move. I'm like, this is insanity. This is insanity. You cannot have a situation with a battle pass that people have paid real money for, where they can where they can play 3 matches in a row and the bar doesn't move, or it moves like that much.
Yeah, it must be.
You just can't have that. You just can't have that. Like, that's what's going to make people stop playing your game. Not getting to the end too fast. It's like, think of the logic. So you're telling me that people are going to go, oh, you gave me all this cool stuff that I paid for too quickly. I hate your game now. What? That's not how that works. Like, people are playing it because they love it and they want the cool, awesome stuff. Don't stress if I get it too quick. Don't stress about it. You got your money. You got your $10 from me. And guess what? I'm going to give you another 10.
Yeah.
That's
funny,
why I keep...
When I first jumped on with friends, the Battle Pass, and they were saying, oh, you know, it makes me sad to see Halo go down the free-to-play, you know, I get it, they have to do it to keep up. And they were having this speech, and I was like, yeah, you know, I got it. And they were like, oh, you know, and then within 15 minutes, they were looking through it, and then they were like, yeah, I'm getting the Battle Pass. But somebody has just popped up on a super chat, and this is a valid point, right? Just want to remind people, Somnia says, they are redoing the progression, and they did come out and say this, we're going to revisit it.
No, I know.
Build a new system beyond the challenges, but it's just going to take some time. So they have put the Band-Aid in place to prevent what the scenario you just described, right? Where you don't get anything for 3 matches. They put a Band-Aid where it's just, you play the match, and then you've got the other ones in there. So,
but
slowly but surely. But I agree. I wish they'd done that from the feedback.
Because they already got the feedback about it. That's right. But my thing is, you know what? Don't change the system. They don't have to change the system. Stick to your guns. If you want the challenge system for XP progression, keep it. But just tweak it. I said that in a tweet, and then they did it like the next day. I mean, I'm sure other people said it too. Like, keep the challenge system. If you want it, keep it. But just, you have to find a way to show people that they're progressing. That's all it is. So have your stupidly basic challenges, which are like play a match, kill a guy, whatever. Like, all you have to do is, so they'd have, the game would have internal counters, yes?
Yeah.
How much ammo you've spent, how many bullets you've shot, how many meters you've run, how many whatevers. Bring in challenges for all of them. That's what Fortnite does. Fortnite has all these underlying challenges. So they've got the main visible ones that you see, and then they've got all these underlying ones. So Fortnite has a challenge for flying 1,000 meters in a vehicle. They've got another challenge for swimming 500 meters. Because they've got all these internal counters that are just checking everything you're doing.
They did that. 343 did that with the Master Chief Collection, which is actually what I thought they were going to do. They had a mix.
Yeah. Chief Collection has it.
Yep.
Yeah. The Chief Collection, you see it. Every time you're playing the campaign, you see this stuff it's keeping an eye on you for. So every time you get a headshot.
Same thing.
Yeah. Every time you get a headshot in Master Chief Collection, you see it. It's called pinpoint or something like that. And you see 1 out of 25, 2 out of 25, 3 out of 25.
Yeah, they refresh them weekly.
That's all you got to do. Yeah, that's all you have to do. That's it.
Yep.
It's not like, keep your challenges. If that's what you want, keep it. But like, increase the number of challenges and make them stupid basic.
Yeah,
Stuff
I don't like
that just
ones
people
that
are doing.
Gameplay, like you've got to get 5 kills with the Cinder Shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Why?
I don't want to do that. Like, and that goes back to how 343 and Bungie, to a lesser extent, used to have those really dumb achievements. On a Tuesday at 7 p.m., when the moon is facing Venus, make sure you're in a warthog upside down with a gun and you kill a guy who's also in a warthog.
Yeah.
What? How am I going to get that achievement? Like, come on, man. Don't do silly stuff like that. Like, just keep it simple.
At the beginning of the episode, you said, must not run. Must not run.
Oh, but I can't help it. But again, it comes from a place of love. I want to love this game. I want to play this game, and they're making it so I don't want to. Like, I haven't put anywhere near as much time into Infinite as I wanted to. You know why? Because I don't want to play objective modes. I don't want to play them.
Objectives are awesome, man. More people should play
I don't want to play them.
You got to get a good team. Good team with objective is
the best with a good team, it's great. I was playing a match with 10k. I was playing a match with 10k the other day. We did oddball. It was awesome. Last minute win, comeback, everything. Blah, blah. Oh, it was like, we won the first round. Absolutely stomped them in the first round. It was like 100-2.
Wow.
In the first round, and I had the ball for like a full minute and a half. Second round, we were down 50-10, and we're like, oh, let's just let go. Let's just give up. This round's over. Let it go. Just let him have the ball. And then one of our guys got the ball, and then like we held on to it for a while, and all of a sudden we're 20,
Come back,
30,
kids.
and we're like, oh, here we go. And then the master, I got the ball, and all of a sudden I just held on to it, and me and 10k running around, and he's protecting me, and I'm hitting people, and we ended up winning like 100 to like 85 or something.
My objective is awesome. That's why it's awesome.
You need the squad. You
of
need the squad.
100%.
Like, otherwise it doesn't work without a squad. And that's the thing. I can't always play with a squad. So give me the ranked Slayer.
I wonder if we'll
for when I can't.
On December 8th, we'll see those playlists expand a little bit.
They
have
Tuesday.
to bring it earlier.
They're expanding playlists on Tuesday. They've already said.
Oh, there you go.
Good.
Tuesday. Playlists update.
Along with the Fracture event for the Samurai Armor.
And you know what? They don't have to release all the playlists, because that'll dilute the player base a bit too much too early. But at least give a Slayer. At the very least, Slayer, for God's sake. Like,
most boring mode, but okay. All right.
But it's also the most popular mode. It's the mode that everyone plays in every shooter ever, because that's what the whole point of multiplayer shooters is. Like, that's how this whole thing started. Team Deathmatch, Doom.
Yeah.
That's how it all started. Doom didn't start with King of the Hill and Oddball. Doom started with Team Deathmatch. That's what it's all about. We
That
just
was
want to
meat
like
and potatoes.
yeah.
So
And again, I'm nothing if not consistent. Ask anyone that's played COD with me. I play hardcore in COD. No radar, no protection, no time to kill. The time to kill is basically 0. I like my... I shouldn't call it realism, but I like my shooters simple. If I see you first and I shoot you, I want you dead. I don't want to unload... I don't want to unload 4 clips into you only for you to then turn around and melee me once and kill me, which is what's been happening to me in Halo, and it's driving me crazy.
Well, I want to talk
driving
about
me
this,
crazy.
but before I do, this is now my time to rant.
Go.
But before I do, we've got a super chat from Cade Forever. 499, thank you very much, Cade. He says, it's not rocket science. Just have XP gained per match and a bonus XP for winning a match, plus some incentive bonuses like MVP, top kills, top assists, and so on.
That does require an overhaul, though.
Yeah,
that does require an overhaul.
Changing, and maybe they're going to do that, but we'll have to.
Unless you build those into challenges, unless you find a way to turn those into challenges. So that way you don't have to overhaul the system completely. They can keep their challenge system. If they want to keep it, keep it. Just change it and tweak it so that people feel like they're achieving something. For the Battle Pass, they paid money for. Let's not forget that. People have paid real money for it. That is why they're getting pissed off that there's no progression.
Yeah, because they put their time into it.
Remember that. They've paid money.
We've got another 2 super chats from Gecko Gamer here. The first one says, as a bit of an aside, do you guys prefer controller or keyboard or mouse? Keyboard and
controller.
mouse for Halo.
Controller.
He prefers keyboard and mouse.
I know. Controller.
Sorry, I'm a console kid. It's got to be the controller.
With back paddles.
God, that's ugly. Yes,
gorgeous.
With back paddles.
I did swap out the Master
D-pad.
Chief visor. Yeah, because I prefer the black.
But it probably looks better in black. Probably looks better in black. The D-pad.
But yes, yeah. I mean, I having said that, I have tried keyboard and mouse on the PC, and it's actually a really solid job. And I played cross-play matches with PC players who were against PC players, and aside from some quick turning, it's not too challenging. It's not horrible. And then Gecko Gamer's got another one, and he's asked, any idea where I should start with the Halo books? Fall of Reach.
Fall of Reach?
Yeah.
Well, is he talking about for this game's story though? Infinite, what ties into Infinite?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's my purview. So go watch our You Had Me at Halo, where we've actually gone over that, and we will be going over it for next week's show on Thursday. It's actually all about the lore.
There you go, Gecko. Check it out. You Had Me at Halo. The playlist is on the main YouTube page, but if you want to know about Halo lore, these guys are the guys to ask. Now I'm gonna talk about my biggest gripe that I've found with Halo Infinite.
I'm surprised you're gonna have another one, given what we've just talked about.
Well, this is a big one for me, and I really experienced it tonight, and I want to talk about it. And I think it's I think it's dumb. I think it needs to be changed. And that is player collision. It drives me.
Oh, I've heard people mention that.
That if I'm in a melee fight, I can walk through the player I am trying to destroy, and it's like I've gone through them and out the other side. And I thought that player collision didn't count only for your teammates. That's how I thought the systems work. And when I experimented with it and I've played more games, I've found so many occasions now where I'm in a firefight, I go for the melee, and it feels like I have gone through my enemy and I'm meleeing past them. So I go to aim the melee and I've gone through them, so it doesn't connect. And then suddenly they've turned around and
got me. That explains so many of the deaths that were pissing me off. That explains a lot of them, now that I think about it. I thought it was only your teammates as well, because I noticed my teammates were running through me, like literally through me.
Some weird things. And again, I don't know if it's a server thing, if it's a popularity thing, but one of the biggest bugs, and I think you experienced it as well during the beta, was I'm under fire, I get behind cover, and then I die.
And then I die.
On my screen, I am in cover. I shouldn't have a bullet hit me right now, and yet it does. Yeah. That is starting to grate on me a little bit.
That's
so
a
there's
server
a
tick.
thing.
Yeah, they run at
That's a
30
server
ticks
thing.
instead of 60, most likely because of being on previous consoles.
Oh,
really? Another reason Xbox One should have been ditched, eh?
that's really annoying.
Hey, I always agreed it should have been. I just didn't think they ever would.
Why didn't they ditch that stupid console?
Probably because
Why
want lots of
didn't
players
they ditch it?
for their game.
Oh, how many people are playing it realistically on Xbox One, man? Everyone's playing it on the Series consoles and PC. Come on.
The amount of times that we have to wait to load into matches, I think there's quite a bit.
Oh my god, it's bonkers. Waiting for other players, and you can tell it's some pleb on Xbox One. That's just like sitting there with his spindle hard drive from 2013, like waiting to load in.
Oh, it's too much.
Man.
It's too much.
I will say though, I have to admit, visually, it actually didn't because Ari wanted to play on my Series X. I'm buying him that Series S Fortnite Rocket League bundle, by the way.
Do it.
Like, he just needs his own console now. He wanted to play Halo, and I'm like, no, I want to play Halo. So I put him up on my daughter's Minecraft 1S.
Yeah.
Because that's all she has right now, a 1S. And I was surprised. It didn't look that bad. I was surprised at how it looked
Yeah, they've done a good job.
on the 1S. It didn't run the best. Like, you could see it was 30. It definitely wasn't running at 60. But visually, I was surprised at how it looked on the 1S. I was very surprised. But yeah, I just wish they ditched that console.
Yeah.
The game's being held back too much by it. It's being held back.
Yeah. Do you know why I reckon this? I forgot this, and I'm still impressed that we've got as many folks as we've got. But do you know where Random and Colt are right now?
Where?
They're on Game On Daily.
They're on it.
Mm-hmm.
As in, as guests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've had both of them on.
I know. But I was curious. Anyway, so I think that's it. We've gone on our rants. We've spoken about the things that bug us. But having said all of that, it's still the best Halo has played in a long
Like
time.
I said, it feels amazing. I want to love it more than I do. I want to love it more. And they're stopping me by doing silly things. Stuff that shouldn't be a problem. It just shouldn't. The Battle Pass thing shouldn't be a problem. The Ranked Slayer playlist thing shouldn't be a problem. The SWAT thing. This is all easy solvable stuff. I'm not asking for them to change the foundation of the game or structurally any. This is all super basic stuff that I'm asking for. That's what's so frustrating. It's simple stuff.
No, when you're in a beta.
It's not a beta.
It's not
a beta. Stop calling it a beta.
They're treating it like one, though.
Well, I don't care how they're treating it. It's not a beta. Once they're taking my money, it's not a beta. And when it's only 3 weeks from release, it's not a beta. It's just not. It's not.
All right. Okay. We're now at that point of the show where we've gone through the news. It's time to thank our wonderful patrons.
Is it? Is it time to thank the patrons, or is it time for something else?
Oh,
I forgot to put it in the notes. I just realized right now that I forgot to put it in the notes.
Don't worry, you told me.
Yeah,
I've got it
you
ready.
can push the button. You can push the button.
They will be able to hear you while this is going. Pushing the button.
The privilege. So maybe we should talk more over it.
Well, we're not seeing it. Why aren't we seeing it if we're on StreamYard? Shouldn't we be seeing it on StreamYard?
If I played through StreamYard, they look like shit. I'm doing everything through OBS, so the audience get to see
it. Okay.
It's lovely having a producer. There you go. It's a rumor mill. My goodness. It's a rumor.
I'll mute
we
it.
are going to have to come up
I
with
forgot to put it in the notes. I completely forgot to put it in the notes. Okay.
Yeah. It's a rumor.
Yeah. I've got like 3 tabs open.
Ooh.
To make sure I get everything. Oh, because there's a lot of context around this, right? So, a while back, and it's funny, I actually made comment about this on Reddit, because on Reddit they were, like they always do, having a go at me about, not saying the full story and hiding things. Blech. Anyway, So there was an article back on the 8th of October, which I think might have been based on a reset thread, to be honest. PlayStation will announce a big remake this Christmas, musician claims. And it was about some musician that was doing the music for a remake or a remaster, something like that. I've got it in front of me, but I'm not going to sit there and read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was one of my cryptic ones. There was like 2 or 3 people that guessed it. So I put out a tweet and I said, I don't think there'll be time for anger about this reveal when it comes.
I guessed this.
And a couple of people guessed it. A couple of people. So, you know, I said, some people were asking me for clues. And I'm like, well, I'm Greek Australian. Use that as your clue. So anyone who knows Greek will know that the word for time, or actually sort of Chrono is like technically Chrono is like, depending on how you want to use it, is year, but it's also time.
Yeah, and in Star Trek, chronoton particles were time travel particles.
That's right. It's related to time. Chronos is related to time in Greek.
Yep.
And then cross is a word for being angry or being cross. You're upset. You're angry. In the Brits and the Aussies use cross as a word for being angry.
Cross about this.
So I said, I don't think there'll be time for anger about this reveal when it comes.
True.
And that's the clue I was trying to leave. Now, on Reddit, I said to everyone, the game itself, that this article, because I wasn't trying to leak the game per se, I was trying to say what I was told the Video Game Chronicles article is about. I said on Reddit, the game itself's not a mystery. Chrono Cross, remastered I think, was already on the NVIDIA leak list. So the game shouldn't be a surprise. It was on NVIDIA's list. But I was told that Video Game Chronicle article is about Chrono Cross Remastered. What else I was told, because everyone's working under the assumption that it's a PlayStation exclusive, I've been told that it's not.
Ooh.
The only word that was used was multiplat. Now, when I hear JRPG and multiplat, I automatically assume PC, PlayStation, Switch. No Xbox. No Xbox. That's my assumption.
Standard.
That's not what I was told. That's just my assumption. All my source said to me was multiplat. That's what they said. They said it's not. They told me it wasn't PlayStation exclusive. But I think there's just confusion because it says that PlayStation is set to announce it. So everyone just works under the assumption that PlayStation are announcing something that would be exclusive, which they don't always do. Pragmata isn't exclusive. They've announced plenty of stuff. But again, I don't know if Xbox is one of those platforms. I work under the assumption that it's not because it's a JRPG.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for the people that were wondering about that tweet, that was me attempting. Look, I wanted to tease this earlier, much, much earlier, and my source is like, no. They're like, no, you gotta wait. I then came up with that tweet and said, how about this? It's pretty cryptic. Like, I don't think too many people are gonna guess. And they read the tweet, had a bit of a chuckle, and said, okay, put that tweet out then. And I did. And only like 2 people in my replies. Only like 2 or 3. I had Metal Gear Solid remake. I had all these different people coming up with all these remakes. Only like 2 people was like, oh, Kronos time, cross anger. I'm like, he's got it. But I can't tell him he's got it because then I'm getting it out there earlier than I said. But again, the Chrono Cross thing was on, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone because it was on the NVIDIA list and hasn't everything from that NVIDIA list almost like virtually happened?
I think so.
Or been rumored? So I said to people on Reddit, the surprise isn't the game. When everyone hears this, they're probably going to be like, oh, that was on the NVIDIA list. All I was doing was saying that I was told this thing VGC is talking about, I was told it's the Chrono Cross remaster.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, when you said
I've never played those games. I've never played
don't
Chrono
care.
Trigger or
It's
Chrono
VG.
Cross, so I don't know.
So I've got no interest whatsoever. But cool for those that love them if that does come to Xbox, but we don't know. So, but you said you had 3 tabs open. Does that mean 3 different rumor mills, or is that
no?
Okay.
I had 3 tabs because I had my tweet out, I had the VGC article out, and I had the Discord tab out. Yeah.
Understood.
No, it's just the one.
Understood.
That was it.
There you go. That's rumor mill, folks.
Yeah.
It's a JRPG rumor mill. I know that's not what everyone wants out there, but it is what it is.
I don't orchestrate it. I just, whatever I get told that I'm allowed to put out there, I put out there. That's it.
That's it.
Was there other stuff I've been told about other things that I'm not allowed to say? Of course. But I'm not allowed to say them. And it's annoying because there's some cool stuff. No. But I'm not allowed to say it.
The Game Awards, as that approaches, that's going to be
spicy.
I'm
so, like I said, so far there's only like one thing I've been told that might be at the Game Awards that I think will be a very interesting reaction to see. But I keep trying to find out more. I'm trying to find out more about the Game Awards. I just don't know what I should and shouldn't leak because Jeff Keighley follows me on Twitter now, so I don't know what I should and shouldn't leak about the Game Awards.
I can see Blazery Jenkins in the chat. Can we talk about Xbox stuff? Hey, Chrono Cross could come to Xbox.
Could come to Xbox. I said multiplayer.
We're talking about it, you know.
Yeah, it might come to Xbox. Who knows?
Who knows? Come. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so we're now at that point of the show, post Rumor Mill, where we get to thank our patrons, and we're going to try and do it using the magic of technology and not me showing up this slide. I think so. There, I love this. I love this. It feels like almost, like we've made it. And I've already missed like reading them out. So much love to all of these guys. You're all amazing.
Is it on the ticker?
It's on the ticker. The ticker's going. I'm watching it.
Okay,
and you guys helped this come to life. Like this is you guys. We wouldn't have attempted this. We wouldn't have been able to attempt it without the support of our patrons.
Without the patron money, we wouldn't have been able to.
It's been an incredible ride.
As Jez was wrong. All that patron money doesn't go to me.
No,
Jez was
true.
Wrong when he said that yesterday. It went into that book. I'm still owed money for a microphone I bought someone.
Yeah.
The patron money doesn't go to me.
Yeah, it literally goes back into what XboxEra does. So I'm not actually tired today. I'm actually remarkably energetic.
You so are tired. I've seen you hold yawns back at least 4 or 5 times where your eyes go all funny and your nose goes all funny because you're holding back a yawn. You're like...
I have to admit, I am burnt out this week, but I guess I'm not mentally tired. I'm definitely physically tired, but I'm pretty on weight. I know. Yeah, it was. It's been a long week, and
you know how I saw your name in the credits. Do you know how I saw your name?
How?
From Forge Labs tweet about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So Forge Labs tweet. Oh yeah, I tagged you, didn't I?
Yeah. Forge Labs was at the summit.
Yeah, Forge Labs tweeted and went, "Oh look, I'm here," and then I saw your name like just above his.
You were like, "Yo."
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. So yeah, we're gonna hop along now into our community questions, and I don't think there's too many this week, although they all seem rather verbose.
Long
old questions from you chatterboxes.
Yeah,
I did see, and I wonder if it was actually a question, talking about eventually at some point doing a Patreon community question show all on its own.
But that would make it even worse because then the show would go for 6 hours.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
We'll have to find the right way of doing it as we grow.
I just think that we didn't anticipate. I just didn't think we'd anticipate. Like when we first started the community question stuff,
it was all on Twitter.
We just assumed we'd stay tiny and nothing and never have to worry about it. Like I hate the idea bad of doing that. I don't like doing that.
Same.
I don't like doing that.
Maybe we add a character limit. I think that's a really good shout. Not Jack in the chat. A character limit to post in the thread with Cerys being the only exception.
Cerys is the first one I'd cap. What do you mean? Cerys is the first one I'd cap.
Cerys' corner. It's it's what it is.
Oh man. And today's is like one of the longest.
It's an essay. Well, let's dive in. Let's dive in and see what's on everybody's minds this week in the Xbox community.
All right, here we go. Community questions. Community question number 1. DirtyFlint. How many Jedis could Master Chief take at once? I don't know.
At least 3 or 4.
Master Chief, I don't know. Master Chief maybe could take, I don't know if he could take many, but he doesn't afraid of anything. So yeah, I know he'd take them on.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he doesn't afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
How many could he take at once? I don't know. Does Mjolnir stand up to a lightsaber?
Well, it's got the energy shield, so maybe.
Maybe. Well, I mean, think about it. If an elite hits you with that energy sword, which is effectively, for all intents and purposes, a lightsaber.
Yeah. You don't go straight through every time. It knocks your shields off.
Except unless from the back.
Yes.
From the back, it kills you once. So, as long as the Jedis don't surround him, he might be okay. If they surround him, he's dead.
Yeah.
But it just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll say from the front, 3 or 4. If it's back and front, he's going to struggle at more than 1 or 2. He's going to struggle. Okay. You know what time it is?
It's Cerys corner time.
Yep. Okay. All right. Cerys. Hello, everyone. Cerys is sick, and rather than spend her week off playing Halo, as many of you would have loved to do, I spent some time sucking at Halo and being carried by Precursor, Kimona, and Grizzly before getting frustrated and throwing my new anniversary controller at the TV. Stupid Halo. So anyway, John didn't like my motorway joke. For shame. So this week's joke will be longer and more whimsical. And each week shall become more extended and more capricious until he laughs.
Okay, always laugh. I'm going to laugh. No matter what.
Yeah, get good at fake laughing.
Okay.
Someone walks into a pub with a giant orange head. Can I have a Guinness and a pack of salt and vinegar crisps? The barman... That's too early.
Sorry.
That's a Friends reference too. The barman... Remember that? Where they're all laughing at Chandler's jokes to make him feel like he's still funny? Because Monica liked that other guy.
The guy at work. It's funnier than him.
Yeah. Okay. The barman stares back and, almost afraid to ask, says, what is with the giant orange head? Well, thereby hangs quite the tale, they say. Only joking. It's good for morale. No joke this week. Just the start of an amazing one, which I shall withhold the punchline from. So back to things withholding the best parts for some nebulous point in the future. Halo. I love sci-fi and space opera and the like, and that's part of what attracts me towards Halo. Megastructures in sci-fi is particularly cool. Ringworld and Rendezvous with Rama are favourites, though some newer books have dabbled with a topopolis and other such structures. It's a very Greek-sounding word. Currently, I am reading through Ancillary Justice again, which is excellent if you like sci-fi. In that book, AIs control ships and stations and use human bodies. Hold on. So there's a comma missing. In that book, AIs control ships and stations and use human bodies to act as ancillaries for that consciousness, staff and soldiers for such places. Ancillaries have no distinct personality, being empty vessels from defeated planets, though they have some small distinctions between each other. The protagonist of the book is one such ancillary, the last remaining one from a destroyed ship, a fragment of the ship's AI. It's really good. Anyway, I would love if games lent a little more into different aspects of the genre. Does the panel have any favourite ideas or examples from science fiction that they wished games would use or explore a little more, such as the idea above? I feel would work... Such an idea as above, I feel would work well within Halo's universe, for example. I just want more sci-fi in my sci-fi. Cerys.
That's an interesting question, and I can't talk about the plot, so I won't. But yeah,
I'm getting what I want.
I love sci-fi and my sci-fi. I'm a big sci-fi fan. I think the problem is games have to have an end result. Like you have to have something a player can do, and regardless of the storyline, you can do anything. But I think you're constrained sometimes by having the player be engaged in that story. And I don't know about you, Nick, but I'm going to be very curious if you skip cutscenes in Halo Infinite. I don't think you will. I don't think you'll want to.
I probably will.
I think you want to watch them. Just saying. Anyway, yeah. I'm trying to think of some good examples from sci-fi I've read that I'd love to see a game do.
I'm neither here nor there on sci-fi. It's whatever. I'm getting everything I want in Halo, so I'm happy. I've wanted upgrades in Halo for years. I've wanted that exploration aspect being focused on for years. Sorry? What did you say?
You ain't getting squat.
I'll get it eventually. But I'm getting everything I wanted in the campaign that I've been saying from 2016. As soon as I saw that legendary ending of Halo 5, I was like, yep, Halo 6 needs to be a spiritual reboot.
And it is.
Reimagine Halo 1, make it more open world than Halo 1 was, force me to explore and look for upgrades and cool stuff, and I'm getting all of it. So I can't complain. I don't care if the graphics aren't the greatest thing ever. I don't care. I'm not. If graphics were an issue for me, I wouldn't play Rocket League.
It's the best Halo's ever looked. It's the best Halo's ever looked.
I don't know if it would look better than 4 did at its time.
No.
I still think that when we look back on all the Halo games at the time they came out, Halo 4 will still stand alone as the best looking Halo game. I think.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yes, no, and I've said that before.
Yeah,
I have said before, a lot was sacrificed to make Halo 4 look the way it does. There was a lot of sacrifices, but purely on face value, when you are looking at that game, it is the best looking Halo game. Like, even now, it looks amazing on the Master Chief Collection. Even now. Yeah. It looks incredible. And it's a 360 game from 2012.
Yeah.
But yeah. Halo Infinite reminds me of 3. It reminds me of Halo 3, which was like, I remember arguing with people back in 2007 about it and saying that Halo 3 looks better than people give it credit for.
The art style,
because there's a lot of cool effects going on. There's a lot of, Halo 3 had a lot of cool lighting stuff going on, and there was hidden stuff you had to look a bit deeper for that then gave you a great appreciation of how that game looked. Super massive open levels, giant scarabs, all this stuff. Like, Halo 3 was doing a lot more than people gave it credit for. Like, this could fill up another podcast. But when people look at the games Sony makes and say, oh my God, look at how they look visually. But they're pretty linear games. And
100%.
They're quite linear. They're not full-on physics-based, like heavy on the physics, heavy on the AI. If anything, they're known for having really dumb and crappy AI, if anything. All that sort of stuff, people forget. Like, AI especially is very CPU intensive. Like, you have to pick your battles in the end. But God, this is a tangent. It's a tangent we shouldn't go on. We were talking about.
Yeah, I can see we've got 2 super chats on the subject of sci-fi from Gecko Gamer. Gecko, if you need to correct yourself, bro, like, you don't have to do that via super chat. Like, you're amazing, but Kerbal Space Program is the hard sci-fi game. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that play Kerbal.
Is the best hard sci-fi game.
Yeah, is the best. So, yeah, absolutely. It is very, very difficult. And on the subject of general sci-fi, I saw some comments in the chat about Mass Effect. Yeah, completely agree. It's the best sci-fi trilogy of gaming ever made. I'd love to see a fully fleshed out HBO monster budget Mass Effect show. Like, I really would. I would kill someone for that.
Interesting.
And yeah, fundamentally, the best sci-fi TV show ever made is still the remake of Battlestar Galactica, hands down.
The Halo show tease looked nice.
Yeah, so we're going to see more at the Game Awards. So
I liked the quality on Chief's suit. It didn't look like a cheap, yucky Wish.com Halo outfit.
Well, I hope not, considering the budget.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. There's plenty of movies with big budgets that don't have great looking effects.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into a Twitter discussion about Red Notice, the one on Netflix with The Rock. I quite liked that, despite the dodgy looking effects. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's Netflix's most expensive film. Where'd the money go?" It went to The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. That's where it went. Yeah, like,
sure.
Hello, because everyone was playing that clip with the bullfight, and oh my god, I laugh every time I see that scene. But yes, the effects.
Don't spoil it. I will watch it at some point.
When The Rock gets hit by the bull, it does look really bad. But like, you don't care because it's funny. It's so funny. Like, there's a bull that's about to charge them. They find themselves in a bull ring in Spain, I think, or something. And there's a bull that's about to charge them. And Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are there. And Ryan Reynolds goes, "Don't move. Don't move." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because bulls have really poor eyesight. Don't move," right? And The Rock goes, "You're thinking of Jurassic Park." And Reynolds is like, "No, I'm not. I saw it in a documentary with, what's his name? Attenborough?"
Yeah.
There's two Attenboroughs. Which is the one that does the documentaries?
David Attenborough.
David Attenborough. He's like, "I saw it in a documentary with David Attenborough. Bulls have really bad vision." And The Rock's like, "No, you're thinking of Richard Attenborough and Jurassic Park." And he's like, "The crowd's telling me to run. We should run." And Ryan Reynolds is like, "If you run, you will die. Do not run." So the bull starts charging. And then The Rock's like, "Okay, quick, tell me, is Jeff Goldblum in it?" And then Ryan Reynolds turns around and goes, "Oh my God, it was Jurassic Park. You're right. Jeff Goldblum's in it." And The Rock just gets cleaned up by this bull. Oh God, I cracked up laughing.
Okay, I'll watch it.
It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
The thing that bugs me, and I'm going to say something, I think Ryan Reynolds is a really nice guy. Like, he seems like a really funny, down to earth.
But he's Deadpool in everything.
But he is the same character in every single thing.
Deadpool.
I remember seeing him in Two Girls, a Guy, or Two Guys,
and a Pizza Place.
And he's the same
character. Waiting. Remember that movie Waiting, where they all work at that restaurant?
Yep. And Blade Trinity, same character.
Yep.
Same
he's
character
Daredevil.
in every
He's Daredevil. He's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Every role he's in, he's Deadpool. And that's why he was born to do Deadpool. He's been playing that role his whole career. Van Wilder.
Yep.
He's just Deadpool.
It starts to great. Yeah. And Free Guy, yeah.
Did you say he wasn't or he was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't quite Deadpool in Free Guy. Like, that's probably the one time I've seen him where he just wasn't straight up Deadpool in a different scenario. Yeah, having said that, I like him anyway.
I mean,
I like him regardless.
It starts to great.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Yeah. So
that was a tangent.
That was fun.
Okay. Good old Collingwood. Hello, John and Nick. Today, as I write this, which was yesterday, it is November 19th. It is International Men's Day, a day to reflect on being male and how we as men can be positive in our relations to family, friends, work colleagues, and everyone we meet every day. Gaming has a part to play in this, not only helping to maintain good mental health, but also generating generous competition and sportsmanship. Of course, International Men's Day complements International Women's Day, which is March 8th. Now, Paul Thurrott, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Paul Thurrott and Brad Sams, sorry?
I think you're right, Thurrott or Thurrott.
I don't know. I've always just said Thurrott. Paul Thurrott and Brad Sams from the Microsoft news site Thurrott.com do a regular podcast where they talk about the latest news about Windows, computing, and technology in general. However, for International Women's Day, they handed their podcast over to their wives, and they talked about how technology affected their lives and their families' lives. So, would you ever consider handing the podcast over to significant others to talk about gaming? That's actually a really cool idea. I like that a lot.
Now, this question, I did read this one, and I loved it, and it cracked me up, and I actually floated it past my wife, and she just...
I should ask mine.
I mean, I don't know if the audience would pay money to hear our wives basically bitch.
And I don't trust the internet. I don't trust the internet to...
There is that.
To not be horrible.
Yeah. I trust our community. If we could make it like a members only thing, I would trust. I think I could trust our community.
Like maybe directly. Only give. So we make it unlisted or private, and only give the patrons or something access to it. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
and we do it that way.
I think it would be very funny.
I think it would too. Like,
if only to hear my wife complain about how much this steals me away from.
Yeah, my wife would say, "Oh, he's always on Rocket League every night. Doesn't help me put the kids to bed. He's playing with Carlos and Jason." But she would talk about how she used to enjoy playing Mortal Kombat when she was younger. Believe it or not, she used to play Dead or Alive, which I find funny. She used to love watching me play God of War. God of War is one of her favorite games, purely because she's half Greek. She's always loved Greek mythology. So the first time so God of War came out when we started dating, 2005. And, you know, one day she was watching me play God of War. And she's like, "Oh my God, what's this game?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's great. Greek mythology. You fight titans, this, that." And she was just like hooked. She just, anytime I was playing God of War, she wanted to watch me play God of War. And then sometimes some of Sony's games because of all the cutscenes. So if there was a cutscene heavy game, she was there for watching it. So that was like the only time I wasn't skipping the cutscenes. But yeah, it'd be funny. I just don't trust the internet enough to open it up to everyone.
I think that would be my primary concern too. Because guess what? People suck. The
internet's
not our community,
horrible.
but the internet, the general...
As a whole.
Yeah.
Like, you know... A lot of humans are naturally, what's the word
cruel?
I'm looking for? No, as in about ourselves. Like most of us are already self-conscious and have hang-ups about ourselves and all that sort of stuff. The last thing I want to do is expose my wife to the dredges of the internet saying horrible things over consoles.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, maybe to our patrons.
Yeah, we'll give it some thought. We've got a year to think about it now, right? So...
Oh no.
Oh no.
Not if International Women's Day is March 8th.
Oh, we
it's
haven't
only
got
3 months away.
We'll have to have some thought. Yeah, but you know, you kind of get away with it because the surname looks a little different. You know, people don't necessarily twig. But yeah, and while we're on the subject of women, Gaz is just dropped a super chat in. He says, "Give me my underwear back, Nick."
No. Why would I do that?
It's his now.
Why would I do that?
Exactly. But yeah. Gaz is just...
I wonder which source video I'm going to be in next.
Yes.
Did you see me in the source video? I was in one of his source videos. Yeah, I was in Gaz's source video. And I actually reckon I did okay. Like, I went the extra mile for Gaz. Like, I full-on recorded, like, 3 videos to make it look like my phone was ringing. I changed my wife's contact to be Gaz, and I put his photo, I put his name and everything, and I said, "Okay, now, ring my phone." So I had the camera on the phone, and it literally looked like Gaz was ringing my phone. I thought I did it pretty well.
You'll have to link me this. I've not seen it.
I went the extra mile for Gaz because, as I've said last week, I'm a super amazing, nice person. So I went the extra mile for Gaz. Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. That's, you know, we'll talk about that.
Gaz is in the chat. Hi, Gaz. I hope you had a good show with Colt and Rand.
Did you bring Rand and Colt with you?
He didn't bring anyone with him. Our numbers haven't gone up.
I gave Rand a super chat. I gave Rand a super chat.
Yeah, but
he doesn't have to super chat us. I just want him to just be there. Just be a friend. Be there. Be a friend. Be supportive.
Rand is the best.
Jerk off.
Well, I didn't say that, Rand.
Next question.
Next question.
Doncabesa, producer. Good evening, gents. Your producer is doing a bang up job. John,
it's true. He is.
Incredible work on the previews. Nick, it's a beta. It's not a beta. It's not a beta. Stop calling it a beta. It is not a beta. Okay. Oh, hold on. Gaz said they are here. No, they're not. I haven't seen a comment from either of them.
They're here.
As Ron Burgundy would say, I don't believe you. Okay. DeoGame. Hello, panel. Deo wrote a paragraph this week. Surprise, surprise. This week was, by all accounts, a pretty great one for Xbox. So, why am I so grumpy? Easy. 3 words. The Game Awards. Yes, for the 3rd time in a row, Playground has been snubbed brutally on account of genre bias, and let's be real, possibly platform bias. Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda has the most noms, but literally half of them are for a PS5 exclusive, and Psychonauts 2 is multiplat. Yet, the snub this year particularly stings. Forza Horizon 5 is quite possibly the best game on a technical level. It is the best rated game of the year, and it's all around really damn fun. Hello, and it was also commercially hugely successful. Like, it's the game of the year by just about any measure you choose to use, no matter how many times you shift the goalposts.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so bonkers. Anyway, this is not the first time the Game Awards have snubbed better rated games for something closer to their wheelhouse. One need only look to Fire Emblem and Ori's snub to see it in action. Yeah, Ori last year as well. Like, come on, man. I mean, you really don't need the tinfoil hat for this one. You really don't. Year after year, the Game Awards have failed to recognise games outside of a select few genres in Game of the Year. Even if they get nominated, they have to compete against games that have virtues that are frankly easier to quantify. It becomes less who has the best gameplay loop or experience or what have you, and more what has the most, frankly. More what has the most. Okay. I feel like something is missing there. Frankly, how does one even compare a game like Minecraft to one like Forza, to one like The Last of Us? All 3 got very similar scores, only one got the accolades. This brings me to my question. Is it time to scrap Game of the Year as a concept at the TGAs? Seriously, it's not an inherently fair fight. It's a breeding ground for controversy and bias, and it doesn't fairly assess the quality of games. Game direction should absolutely stay, but Game of the Year, one need only look to the Emmys, Golden Globes, and the Tonys to see how it's done. There is no show of the year or movie of the year or production of the year. The best comedy, best musical, best drama, best revival, etc. Perhaps it's time for the TGAs, the TGAs, sorry, the Game Awards, to go down the same path, especially given games are arguably the most diverse medium out there. Well, this is what we were saying. Like, yeah, we were saying it before. When are we going to decide that Metacritic counts? To me, Metacritic makes it as black and white as possible. What are the top 6 rated games that weren't re-releases? Because, for example, one of the highest rated games of the year was Disco Elysium, Director's Cut, but that was the Director's Cut. Disco Elysium is an old game, so obviously that wouldn't count. But in terms of new games that came out in that year, what are the top 6 rated games? Okay, there's your nominees. It makes it black and white. It takes all the ambiguity out of it. It takes all the conspiracy theories out of it. It's done. And then you have your panel, whatever your panel is, just like the Academy, just like whatever. And then those people pick the winner from what Metacritic has as the highest rated. To me, that would be the best way to do it. To me. Yeah, I just think the way it's done now, I don't know. It's just...
I don't care about Metacritic particularly. I don't know if that...
No, neither do I.
I get it using it as a barometer. What were the best games of the year according to general critical consensus? I understand that, but there's different outlets have different weightings. I think OpenCritic is probably fairer because they don't add
OpenCritic, whatever.
Yeah, but I get what you mean.
But we talked about this before.
Change has to come. Yeah,
but we talked about this before with the weightings. There's still weightings in the jury process, whatever the jury is. Because what if most of your jurors are guys that prefer PlayStation? You telling me they're not going to vote for whatever came out on PlayStation that year over whatever came out on Xbox?
Probably.
They are. Naturally, they just are. Like, it's just the way it is. Like, are you telling me that if Ryan McCaffrey and Greg Miller both play Ratchet and Clank and they both play Halo, are you telling me they're both going to vote for Ratchet and Clank? They're not, are they? Ryan McCaffrey's going to vote for Halo and Greg Miller's going to vote for Ratchet and Clank. That's why I think take that out of it. Just make it based on Metacritic or OpenCritic, whatever you want. Because it makes it, again, it's not foolproof. It's not a foolproof system, but it's better than the one we got now.
Yeah. Or leave it, well, no, you can't even leave it down to the public's choice because people just...
No, you definitely can't leave it to the public, my God. Because then, of course, a PlayStation game's going to win every year because there's more PlayStation fans than just about anything else. Oh, actually, no, Nintendo's probably got more, but I think Sony's are just much, much louder.
Yeah.
And take to social media in higher numbers. So you can't leave it to the public either. But, like, if you do it based on Metacritic, then it doesn't matter who your jurors are. So, for example, if in 2021, Returnal and Ratchet don't sneak into the top 6 because they were 88 and 84 or whatever, and the top 6 were all in the 90s, it doesn't matter that Greg Miller's a juror. He doesn't have a PlayStation game to vote on.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it makes it as black and white as possible. Again, it's not foolproof, but it's, I think, the best way to do it. Because think about it, it does. You can stack the entire jury with the biggest PlayStation fans on earth. If a PlayStation game didn't get into the top 6, bad luck. And vice versa for Nintendo. You can have all the biggest Nintendo fans in the world in that jury. It can be Grub, it can be Mike, it can be whoever. But if a Nintendo game didn't make that top 6, bad luck. They can't vote for it. They have to vote for what's left. So it just, to me, it's the way that it makes it as black and white as possible. It just removes that potential bias or just.
That's the downside of Metacritic, though. I mean, we're not on Metacritic, so we wouldn't.
I know, and that's why I said it's not a foolproof system. I'm just saying it's better than the one we got now.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Because it's just, to me, it's just bonkers that we're in a situation where the highest rated game of the year that was also a commercial success, and I know commercial success doesn't factor in, but in the end, it's still both. So it's clearly a game that is very, very good. If a game is both critically and commercially successful, safe to say it's a pretty good game. Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't played Forza Horizon 5, so I don't know. But safe to say, the fact that it's at 10 million players and it's sitting at a 92 Metacritic,
or
take a stab in the dark and going to say it's a pretty good game.
Even have developers vote on each other's products.
Developers, yeah. Mate, that's a great idea. Let developers do it. Let developers do it. And just say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, yeah, let developers do it, because then, and just say, obviously, you can't vote on your own game. And done. Simple. Yeah. Can't vote on your own game. You can only vote on everyone else's game. And let the devs do it. Because the devs know what the other devs went through, and the devs can see things we can't. Like, I saw this amazing Twitter thread from a PlayStation developer at Santa Monica. Incredible thread about Halo Infinite and their animation system. Did you see it?
I have not, no.
Oh, incredible thread.
Drop me a link.
And it was from his perspective on how animations work and how it works in first person. And then you've got to consider multiplayer. And then you've got to consider this. And you've got to consider that. And you've got to consider how it looks in third person. And you've got to make sure it doesn't look like it's floating. And you've got to make sure, in real life, your head doesn't do this. But you can't have that in a video game because it would be like, he was just going on about all this incredible stuff that layman idiots like us would not know and would not think of when it comes to making games, which is why a lot of the time, as gamers, we complain about dumb shit that we have no idea about and we think we know about it.
Very true.
And that's why I've said it before on the podcast, I love seeing smart people talk about the stuff they know about. That's why I love MVG so much, because you hear him talk about all that stuff, the emulation stuff, And I could just hear him talk about it all day because he knows everything there is to know about it. I love that. So this Twitter thread, I can't remember the gentleman's name. He's from Santa Monica. He started a Twitter thread about Halo Infinite's animation and the appreciation he has for what 343 have done with it. Incredible Twitter thread. Just full of stuff that we would not think of and would not know about. But yeah, so I think it's a great idea to let devs vote on it. That would be great.
Yeah.
I think. Dan Lowe. What's his Twitter handle?
Yeah.
Okay. Dan Lowe's. Yeah.
We'll read that.
Check him out on Twitter. Incredible thread about Halo Infinite. It's so good. I just couldn't stop reading, and I wanted to read more. I was like, I was upset when it came to an end. I just wanted to keep reading. So good. Okay. I hope we answered that question.
I hope it's decent.
Creaky Legs. Hello, lads. Congrats on the Xbox book reveal. Thank you. I didn't do anything. A bit hurt it wasn't John's proposal to me. We'd be a power couple. They'd call us John or Sick Legs in the online social circles. Sick Legs is a good one. Anyways, Halo Infinite multiplayer has been amazing. Aside from the still most unrewarding battle pass I've ever paid for. See, I've ever paid for. People are handing over money. I went 14 kills and 1 death with 1 capture and 1 return in Big Team Battle Capture the Flag for my first match of the day. I kid you not, my level increased half a letter past the O in season. It didn't even give me the 1 for playing a single match. See what it's just crazy. It's bonkers that they let it out like this. Needless to say, their original plan, intent, whatever it was, to beat me into submission till I spent even more money, leading me to buy a Cloud9 skin or whatever, just so I don't look like a green and grey blob like everyone else worked. I don't even know who Cloud9 is. They're an esports organisation. They also have a Rocket League team. I don't even know who Cloud9 is, but I'll tell you this for nothing. Locking coatings to be bound to specific pieces of armor feels like the laziest money-grabbing monetization ever. Like, we aren't even at day 1 yet, and this entire unlock system feels like something a game does when it's 5 years into its life cycle and they've exhausted all design and color options possible, which I don't see how that would be for a game like Halo. I don't want to sound totally negative. My avatar is me dressed in a cardboard Spartan outfit, for crying out loud. I know they are working on things, and the game feels incredible. I don't need to be a broken record and sing the same praises as everyone else. But XP is not the only issue with that battle pass. The rewards are mostly subpar for what you're paying for. For example, a level 92 unlock is a bronze-coloured visor that can only be used on the Mark 5B helmet. That's way too specific and granular to get with unlocks, and super lame of a reward for climbing that high on your battle pass that's supposed to last 6 months, which also feels way too long. That's different. That's supposed to be a one-off though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just
this first battle pass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, the game is amazing in basically every other respect so far. Oh, right. A question. I wrote that question about the monthly QA podcast. So, anyways, never mind. I'm disappointed you didn't wear the polo, Nick. So I photoshopped you in it on Twitter. Oh, God. Have a great rest of the podcast and hit me up if you got a Spartan MIA. I'd like to leave this lone wolf stuff behind.
Will do.
Yeah. I mean, he covered... Creaky Legs covered all the stuff we were talking about. The battle pass is real bad. It's bad and can't make excuses for them bad, because they already received this feedback twice. So we can't say, oh, they're getting the feedback and they're responding super quick. Nope, they got this feedback twice before and have not responded quick. They're only responding now because there's way more people getting pissed off at them and they've paid with real money.
Yeah. That
is why they're responding quickly.
All right, now, I'm going to say the first tech test actually was only against bots, and the Battle Pass, you could hit level 20 pretty easily. It was a very different setup. The second time, people complained and it was worse, but they were both very different. You got way more experience per thing. This is a different system than what we had in the tech tests as far as how fast you level. You leveled much faster.
But I remember
in the
complaints
test.
in the second one especially, I remember the complaints in the second one.
That was more about how granular some of the challenges could be, which they still messed up and just left in. Things are way too hyper-specific on what you have to do.
Yeah, well, there's that too, which is really annoying. You've got all the in-game tickers. Use them, just like Fortnite does. And again, don't go to Fortnite speed. Fortnite speed's out of control. That's Fortnite's thing. Fortnite, even they've changed their system a little bit. I'm not saying they need the speed of Fortnite, but a happy medium would be nice. Like I just checked my stats on the Xbox app, and I've put 16 hours into Infinite, and I'm level 6 on the Battle Pass in 16 hours.
Wow.
That's like, come on. Like, and remember, coming from Fortnite where I can go up 3 or 4 levels in one match, you're then talking about 16 hours and only being level 6. Like,
brutal.
Come on, and that combined with copying nothing but objective matches, and I don't feel like playing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like playing. Like, I'd just rather wait for SWAT. I'd just rather wait for SWAT and then go and just mop everyone up. Just demolish everyone in SWAT. And get my battle pass up quicker. That way. Although, they'll still probably have the silly challenges where you have to use a certain weapon and none of them will probably apply to SWAT. And who the hell knows?
I hate those ones.
Yeah. Anyway, Kraken56. Hello, panel. Congrats on the book and love the Halo previews as well as the Xbox Legacy video John made. Yeah, that was a good video.
Oh, thanks,
yeah, that was a good one.
That was
I thought it was clever. I need to ask you, how did you do that thing with the TVs where you got the old footage into those old TVs?
I'll tell you the secret. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, pre-drag, I need 3 different TVs in an alpha layer."
Are you
with
serious?
A slow zoom. And I found clips on Envato, which is a great kind of like stock video thing. And I was like, but they're not the right TVs, and any chance you could like give me an old one and then a kind of modern, and then give me these different variations.
Yeah, there was an old CRT, then a newer CRT, and then there was the LCD.
Yeah. And I in hindsight, I wish I'd have used the latter two and not the really old CRT. I wish I'd have used the latter two and then like a modern plasma,
and then a modern OLED or something like that. Yeah. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, oh, hold on. He's used a CRT for the 360, but that's when we ushered in HD. So it should have been the old LCD for the 360, and then Xbox One should have been the more modern OLED type thing, or LED or plasma, whatever.
It was a constraint of time. I think that came.
Yeah. No. It was still really good. I liked it. I thought that was really good. The old TV footage and stuff. I thought that was
the only reason that got made is because I got called out on Twitter by Gaz.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah,
I know. Gaz's video was good too. I don't know if he's still there, but
incredible. Really,
Gaz's video was good too, but I liked yours more.
Who edits their videos? Is it Gaz or is it Asa?
I think it's Gaz. I'm pretty sure it's Gaz.
Gaz. If it's you,
well, he does his source videos, so maybe Asa. Maybe Asa does the hype ones. I don't know.
But either way, it was a really, really great vid.
Yeah, it was good. I still think that I want to do one. I need to make the time and force myself to do one with Felix the House Cat silver screen.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I need to force myself to make a hype trailer using Felix the House Cat. You've heard that song now.
I have, yeah. It's a great track.
You can fully see how brilliantly that song would work as a hype song. Man, it's pumping. It's so good.
For sure.
So good. Wow, I didn't even ask the question. Halo's previews are making me excited about the campaign. Cannot wait to play it. My question is regarding the bosses. The battles I have seen so far look great. Do you think they will do any big vehicle bosses like scarabs or other banished vehicles like the Blisterback? I envision using the grapple hook to fight against them would be epic. Those were some of my favourite moments in past Halos, and there is usually one big vehicle moment like that in the Halo campaigns. I think they would work great in a scripted event in the open world or a marker on the map you can go to. When you take it down, you can get some of the cool rewards they have shown. If not at launch, maybe as part of a future campaign expansion. Love the show and keep up the great work, guys.
Thanks, Cracker.
I can't answer this, so... and you probably technically can't answer this either.
I can't answer this. The bosses are a great addition. Of the two that preview people were allowed to show, I only showed one. The one video I didn't do was of the 4th mission, which is the tower, where you fight against an elite who has... I did show a small clip of it, but you fight against an elite who has an invis, and you know, the bosses, I think they're the best, but you know, Halo has dabbled in bosses and it's not always kind of worked. And I think the best example of bosses ever done in Halo is the Scarab battles from Halo 3, because they were very emergent and almost like mini levels all on their own, with an AI controlling the Scarab itself. I'd love to see something like that. I can't talk to anything like that in Halo Infinite. I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't played beyond level 4, so...
I am hesitant about boss fights after Halo 5.
They're nothing like that.
I have concerns after Halo 5.
Don't have concerns. Certainly from my experience thus far. Don't have. This is not Halo 5 version 2. This is not
Warden Eternal was just straight garbage.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
Yeah.
And I already know what Jesse's thinking, so don't say it.
Well,
if you've got this gun, you can kill him in like
grenade.
2 shots.
One splinter grenade.
I told you. I already know what he's thinking as soon as I said that. No, that game should get good, because it's not good.
That's great.
Okay. EccentricRhino. So, lads, Scalebound and Mr. Kamiya. I must say I was shocked that Hideki Kamiya actually said on the record, "I'm sorry to the players who looked to it, Scalebound, and moreover, I'm sorry to Microsoft who placed their trust in us as a business partner." In the interview, he goes on about the struggles of working in the unknown with their lack of experience using Unreal Engine, and the fact that Kamiya wanted to implement online features into the game with no experience doing this previously. So he didn't say that they were forced by Microsoft? I find it kind of frustrating. I find it kind of infuriating that only now Kamiya is speaking about this all these years later. Xbox took most of the criticism from fans and journalists, and almost all the criticism went directly to Phil, who at this point must have a jaw of steel with the amount of punches he has taken. Like I said, kept trying to tell people, it's not what you think. One story being thrown around was that Kamiya's ego entitlement persona with him being the golden boy from Capcom rubbed Phil the wrong way. In addition to Kamiya taking Microsoft's money for Scalebound, he also released a grand total of 6 games from 2014 to 2017 for other companies after the announcement of Scalebound in 2014. The amount of pent-up frustration from Phil Spencer must have been enormous. However, stories like these are always a two-sided coin. Allegedly, some Microsoft suit was mandating Platinum to use the Unreal Engine instead of their in-house engine. Friendly fire never ceases to amaze me when it comes to big tech conglomerates. But enough of the past and on to the future. Does this interview with Hideki opening up about both his studio's failures and the apology to Microsoft, Phil, open the door to a Scalebound reboot or even a new game? Thank you, gentlemen. John, have a dear God, this podcast is keeping me up until 2 a.m. and I'm about to go mental kind of night. I'm
not having that kind of night tonight, for the record. No chance.
I don't think it does open the door.
No, I think that door is firmly shut. Scalebound is dead. I don't think we're ever going to see a partnership there ever again.
The only way, again, this is just me personally, the only way I see that ever happening in the future is if, like, Kamiya is full, like, it basically all has to come from him in terms of the, I mean, he's already kind of apologized there, but he has to be fully forthcoming. Like, he has to go to Microsoft and be like, here's the situation. I'm sorry for everything in the past. It'll never happen again. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. Whatever you want, let's do it. Let's work together properly. Yada. Like, I just think it will probably all has to be coming from him. And I say that from personal experience with him. Because I was really nice to him and offered him a free game, to which he blocked me, which says a lot about his personality. So I can only imagine what it was like working with him in such an intense, stressful, financially driven working relationship like making a video game. Like, we keep hearing, developers keep telling us, people in the industry keep telling us, making video games is hard, making video games is hard. Throw in, explosive personalities like his. Like, you're talking about a guy who publicly on Twitter called, what was it? I don't want to say the exact wrong thing, but correct me if I'm wrong. He basically called people that speak English or called non-Japanese people insects. He called them insects. And then you're talking about someone like him then working with an American company like Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like, it's fair to say that there's going to be some friction, fair to say there's going to be all sorts of stuff going on there.
Yeah. It's a golden rule now for me. And Nick, I'm sure you're in a similar boat. I think we both agree on this, right? Is that there are tons of things that Nick and I have an opinion on that we will never, ever, ever, ever go near in a 10-foot basketball, because on the internet, having an opinion sometimes is death. So we just don't talk about it. It's that easy.
No.
Yeah, I mean, people.
It would have been a volatile situation.
Yeah, that particularly would have been.
Given the personalities at play and the money involved and the pressure, and it would have been a volatile situation. But in the end, again, you got to look at the personalities. Look at what was being said at the time. What's more likely? Like, when has Phil publicly, again, because you can only go on what you see publicly, right? That's all we can go on. Between Phil and Kamiya, what have we seen publicly?
Not
we
much.
see how Kamiya acts on Twitter. We see how he talks to people. We see how he treats people. So what's the more likely scenario in Scalebound? Do you know what I mean? Like, at some point, you have to...
Phil's the jerk.
Yeah, no, Phil's the jerk that forced multiplayer on them and this and that. Like, when has Phil ever indicated that he's like that publicly? We don't know behind closed doors. We have no idea. He could be Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know. All we have to go on is the public image and the public persona. And Kamiya is more than happy to let it all out there. Some people are. Good on him. But in the end, he's now publicly apologizing years after the fact. Doesn't that allude to the fact that maybe the maths was adding up?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Sometimes just put your bias aside and try and use some logic sometimes.
Yeah.
Even if the logic doesn't necessarily suit your narrative, as John and Jesse have discovered with Halo. Sometimes logic doesn't suit your narrative. You just got to go with it.
You got to go with it.
We're being asked, what do you think about the insider talking about Bungie joining Xbox Game Studios?
No freaking comment is what I think.
We're saying XboxEra, this is official company
policy.
This is an official company statement. We have no comment on Bungie joining Xbox Game Studios. We are staying away.
You know what
from
I was
that
just saying
grenade
about some things I won't touch with a 10-foot barge pole? Bungie joining Xbox Game Studios. That's one of them.
We are staying away.
What is this?
Roberto Serrano. Roberto Serrano.
Really? That guy?
Look, come on. Why is everyone so mean to him? I never understood that. I see what people say about him on Twitter. I see what they say. I saw what they said about Nate the Hate. Everyone started ripping into Nate the Hate when Nate the Hate said Halo multiplayer is coming out on the 15th. And then a day later, he's like, "Oh, plans might have changed. It's still November, but it's probably not the 15th. Oh, yeah, you're just backpedaling. Blah, 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 blah." And then it ended up coming out. Like, people don't get it. I'm sure Nate the Hate works just like me. He's probably got friends of friends of friends who know people, who talk to people. He probably gets DMs, and he trusts these people, and they give him info. And he probably works in a very similar way to me with all this kind of thing. I don't understand why people are so ridiculously aggressive about it.
Oh,
It's
don't
video
get me
games,
wrong.
man.
I genuinely don't know the guy, but what I have heard other people refer to him is that he'll latch onto it. And I think someone linked me a tweet, funnily enough, when we were teasing our countdown, and his tweet was kind of like alluding to be like, you guys are gonna want to see this. And I'm like, you don't know what this is. This isn't Microsoft related.
Yeah, but it's just him getting people excited. Like,
I know.
what's wrong with
I'm
getting
not
people excited?
complaining. I mean,
That's
was
the
very
problem.
helpful.
Everyone's default position. Okay, I laughed at this comment because it's a very Australian comment. Ripe Gaming AU, so he's Australian. Roberto is a flog. I love the word flog. It is the best word to bag someone without using a swear word. And Australians use it all the time. They call someone a flog. I absolutely love that word. It is the best. But look, he's a nice enough guy. Like, he gets people hot. Like, in the end, right? In the end, there's nothing stopping you from just ignoring them. Ignore me. There's nothing stopping you just ignoring them. Rather than the default position be, take a dump all over them publicly.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's
Like,
definitely there.
I don't understand. And this is coming from me. I lean more towards negative than I would argue, and most people on our team would argue. I lean more towards the negative than the positive. But even I don't take a dump on... We've had lots of insiders out there that have gotten stuff wrong on Reset. Even the verified ones, the vetted ones on Reset that got stuff wrong. Darkwing Duck. And, and I haven't dumped on them publicly or... Like, there's no need. Like, if you want to do it privately, go for it. It's private. You want to have your own Discord where you say, Nick's the worst, Roberto's the worst, Nate the hate's the worst. Go for it. Say whatever you want to say. But why just default to, like, dumping on these people publicly? I just never understood what you're achieving.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like Roberto, just like Nate, just like me, just like Tom Henderson, just like anyone else. Roberto's probably got sources that he trusts for whatever reason. He trusts them, and he goes with stuff. Now, obviously, he's received some information that leads him to believe that, I guess he believes that Bungie is close to joining Xbox Game Studios. I don't know. That's obviously what he believes, due to what he has been told.
Yeah.
We have learned our lesson when it comes to talking about Bungie and Xbox Game Studios, and we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Because, the last time we spoke about Bungie and Xbox Game Studios, Bungie had to say something.
Yeah,
and
that was a big learning moment for me.
And Zooj wanted people to stop following us, and man,
he did delete that. To be fair, he did.
I know. That tweet. I know.
Yeah, that was in the presentations for a long time afterwards that we do internally when we do team meetings about how to do things wrong. So
even if I knew something about Bungie, like even if one of my sources came to me and were like, no, Bungie's being bought by Microsoft, you can leak it. I'd be like, no, I'm not.
No.
I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. No, look here. Here's a copy of the contract. I'll show you. No, I don't care. I'm not saying a word about it. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say anything. I just, not. Even if he showed me a copy of the signed contract, I would not say a word. Not going near Bungie and Microsoft ever again. It's never going to happen.
Have you, can you do me a favor and check your DMs?
On Discord?
Yeah, from me.
What did I say? Did I say something wrong?
No.
Oh my God. How is that?
You'd be pleased. Creaky Legs is just
I wish I had bought that. I wish I had worn that polo. Can you remind me next week? Can you remind me next week to wear the polo? Can you remind me?
Can you please make that your new profile picture on Twitter?
No way.
Please, God, please.
You want me to try and get it up on stream for people?
No.
I linked it in the chat. I'm sure
Okay.
people can go click it. But Yeah, it was very funny. Sorry, it really cracked me up during that. Anywho, last two.
Leon Umol, even if they announce it, mate, even if Bungie themselves came to me, contacted me, and said, Nick, we saw what happened last time. We feel bad. We're happy to let you announce that we are joining Xbox Game Studios. You know what I'd say? Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Pete.
Oh, no, but we'll put you in the video and everything. You can announce it and you can tell the world how... Nah, I don't want to know about it. Keep it away from me. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Nah, sorry. Eric B. Is that Jason Statham with sunglasses on?
No. Only if Jason Statham put on a lot of weight and shrunk by like 3 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a tangent. I can't believe this ended up being a 3-hour podcast. Okay.
Shock.
Two more questions. Philaxis. Halo there, gents. Very clever.
I like what you did there.
I must admit, as an avid Xbox fan, that I've never truly had much interest in the Halo games. What?
Yeah.
I've tried them, but never really gotten into them. Sorry?
People are out there that don't play Halo despite being on Xbox. I know it's
a bit weird. I mean, the console only exists because of Halo. Yeah. I've tried them, but never really gotten into them. With the Master Chief Collection, I really have no excuse besides time to give it a good crack. Is there a widely popular platform exclusive for any platform that you've not been interested in, but is loved by the majority of gamers?
Tons.
Mario.
Tons. Yeah. Mario, Smash Brothers, Uncharted, Final Fantasy.
An exclusive for any platform, because I was about to name Final Fantasy, but that's not an exclusive. An exclusive.
There's tons of franchises. I'm just like,
yeah, but a widely popular. So he's talking big
Uncharted.
name,
I don't care.
big name stuff. Nah, see, Uncharted, I was interested in. I've played all of them. God of War, played all of them. Last of Us, playing through the second one now. Ratchet and Clank, I've always loved those.
Yeah, those.
I'm trying to think of a big name one. I legitimately don't think I can think of one.
Gran Turismo.
That's a big one. Why? Oh, yes, Gran Turismo.
There you go.
Thank you. Gran Turismo sucks. To me. I don't like Gran Turismo. I played.
It's too late. People hate you now.
The last one I played was 4, I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested in the tuning, and I guess by extension, Forza Motorsport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't like Forza Motorsport either. I'm not interested in racing sims. It's just not my bag. I like my races arcadey. I like Split Second. I like Daytona USA. Yeah, Forza Horizon is somewhere in the middle for me. It's not full arcadey, but it's obviously not sim. It's this weird in-between thing. I'm okay with Forza Horizon. I don't love them. I don't not like them. Somewhere in the middle. But
Fair
yes,
enough.
For me, I will say Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo. They are mine. They do nothing for me. I don't care about tuning my car. I don't care.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't care. I just want to play the game. It's like making me watch cutscenes. I just want to play the game.
I'm not with you on that.
Don't make me tune my car. Just give me a cool car to drive, and let me drive it. That's all.
There you go.
But yeah, for the people that love their Sims, more power to you. I can fully see why there is a market for that sort of stuff. Okay. Somnia. Hey guys, hope everyone's having a great weekend. Except John, because he's playing Halo campaign. I'm not jealous or anything. By the way, amazing job with the footage. The XboxEra footage puts most others to shame. That's very nice.
Accurate. Yeah, that was my primary goal. Like, I was very, very determined that what you guys got to see was, someone that's played a lot of Halo, and that was how I tried to go in with it. So yeah, I'm glad that came across. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment.
I'm nearing the end of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is very easily going to be near the top of my Game of the Year list, which really surprises me as I had zero excitement for this game and everything shown up to release just did not look good and there was zero excitement for it in the gaming community. Can you think of any other game that came as such a huge surprise to everyone upon release when it looked like it was going to be horrible? Oh, I like this question. But yes, I'm seeing a lot of good sentiment about Guardians of the Galaxy. Everyone I know that's played it has thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will wait for it to come to Game Pass.
Yeah, I'll have a wait for Game Pass or a sale. And then
That's not a leak. It's not me leaking that it's coming to Game Pass, but let's be real. It's going to come to Game Pass. Like, let's be honest. It's going to come to Game Pass. Sorry?
It's probably going to come to Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, let's be honest. It's going to come. Same way Marvel Avengers did. No reason why Guardians of the Galaxy won't as well. I'm not in a rush. It's a single-player game, just like I wasn't in a rush for Immortals Phoenix Rising. I waited a full year before buying it. You know, I had people saying to me, but isn't that going to come to Game Pass? Because you said Ubisoft games are coming to Game Pass? Yeah, I assume it will, but I still buy games. Like, if I see a good deal on a game I want, I'll still buy games.
Yeah.
I use Game Pass for what I think it is, which is a really awesome rental service.
Yeah, you try things out you like. If you really like it, guess what? You get some money and you can make the purchase and you put it forever.
You know, I love Crackdown 3. I waited for it to be on sale for $20 and I bought it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I still got to play it on Game Pass, and that's why Game Pass is the greatest thing ever. Because it appeases people that suffer from FOMO.
Yeah.
Because they can play it the day it comes out. But then it also appeases the people that like to wait for sales and don't want to spend the full $60 or $70 on games day one. It works for both.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing ever. Like,
best thing that came out of last gen that isn't a game.
Yep.
I think
it is. It is the greatest thing that came out of last generation that's not a game.
Yeah.
It
100%.
is. And I wish this existed when I was a kid. I wish Game Pass existed when I was a kid. My parents would have subscribed to it straight away. Oh, I don't have to spend $120 every time Nicholas wants a game? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
$15 a month. There you go, kid. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do really want, like, I've seen a lot of the positive reaction on Guardians of the Galaxy, and you know, I'm not a big Marvel fan in particular. Like, I've enjoyed all the movies. They're really fun, turn off my brain and just enjoy the fireworks kind of things. And I know that is it Shang-Li and the Legend of the Ten Rings?
Shang-Chi,
sorry, beg your pardon. But that's out on Disney Plus now, and it's
on
my list.
It's good.
Like, I'm going to chill out one day, and
it's good
this weekend probably tomorrow, watch it and
it's a good
enjoy
film.
it. So yeah, but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, I will definitely play it, especially if it's a fairly easy, you know, non-open world, non-side quest filled single player game. But I've got something new to play now that isn't Halo Infinite between now and you know, the end of the year. Got a couple of weeks on this one, so this should be an interesting one. This is a bit different. It's not in my normal wheelhouse, so I'm quite keen to see how it all shapes up at the end. But you'll see more on that in a little while.
Uwu's asking me a question. Oh God, everyone's asking me questions. I'm getting questions about Embracer. What do you think about Embracer planning to acquire 35 studios? Man, talk about acquisition season for Embracer.
Yeah.
But don't forget, Embracer, outside of Gearbox, Embracer is acquiring much smaller
like
studios.
little teams.
I still want to know what their end game is.
Yeah.
I still want to know what their end game is. I don't know what it is. Do you think Game Pass influences or is going to eventually influence how Xbox games are made and how they're monetized? No, I don't. Because I'm pretty sure Microsoft understands that you need variety. Like, no one will sub if it's all the same type of thing. No one will sub. Like, you're forced. Like, it's a subscription. Like, you're forced to have variety. Because if you don't have variety, people won't stay subscribed.
Yeah. You've got to keep that constant drip feed of content. And you know, Phil was alluded to it again in all the recent interviews he did for the 20th anniversary about, you know, yeah, we're low on for everyone and more casual content. And I saw a report the other day about a classic Xbox 360 social game coming back. I don't know if I know that it was accidentally said, but then I think there is just an article now, so I think I can say it's just 1 versus 100, right? So Phil is aware that there's lots of different buckets of people and personalities and genres that they have to fill if you want to maintain a steady growth and keeping people knowing, there's nothing out this month, I'll finally unsubscribe. You've got to keep that constantly ticking, which is why they've got as many studios as they have and why they're not going to stop and add more so that they can just fill the bucket over and over and over.
Well, it's funny. This leads. So Eric B has said, do you guys think subscription services are the future of gaming? TV and movies are adopting it already. I do. Ask yourself a question. If Sony wasn't going to eventually adopt the Game Pass model, why are they buying up all these studios? Why? If their model is working so well, as everyone talks about, no, Sony doesn't need Game Pass because they're selling all their games and blah, 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 even though their games cost a fortune to make. Oh, Sony's model is working. They don't need a game. So then why bother buying more studios to make more games?
Yeah.
If they're not ramping up for something, why are they buying all these studios? Why? And honestly, I think it was a few weeks ago, and on Twitter I said, I don't know if Sony will ever go, oh no, that was PC. I said Sony won't ever go day and date on PC, didn't I?
Yeah.
Which I still don't know if they'll ever do. But I fully expect Sony to copy Game Pass 1-to-1. Sony will do their own Game Pass, which is all their games day one on a subscription service. 100%. I fully believe that. I 110% believe that. And you won't convince me otherwise. You can come up with all your goalpost shifting, garbage fanboy arguments that you want.
Yeah.
Sony, I personally believe Sony will 110% copy Game Pass. When that happens, I don't know. I don't, it feels like they're building up to it slowly. They're buying these studios, they're putting some recent games onto PS Plus. They're just sort of dipping their toes into everything bit by bit before fully just going, here it is. I don't know if they do it as soon as next year. Next year feels too soon, maybe.
Yeah,
I think what will determine how quickly Sony does it is how successful Microsoft gets. So if Game Pass explodes, next year because of Starfield and because of 1 versus 100 and if Game Pass explodes next year, then I think there's a chance we could see Sony fast track theirs and go, shit, look, we've got God of War this year, we've got Horizon Forbidden West. What else is supposed to be coming out next year on PlayStation? We've got 3 or 4 big hitters all next year. Let's launch out. Because I've always said, and some Xbox fans may get upset at me for this, but I have always said that I see Sony as the Disney Plus to Microsoft's Netflix. So Netflix took, a decade or more to get to 200 million subscribers? Yeah. Disney Plus got to 100 in a year. In a year, they got to 100. I see Sony more like Disney Plus. Because they have the bangers that everyone wants, if they did a Game Pass, I think they'd get as many subscribers as Game Pass or more in faster time. Because they have that content people want. Yeah. Sony's games are $130 here. Why wouldn't I subscribe to their Game Pass? Because for the cost of one of their games, I can get all their games. So why wouldn't I I would subscribe to Sony's Game Pass in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think about it. Yeah. I would just subscribe to it straight away. And I'd wager so would a lot of PlayStation fans. Because in the end, they can put the fake personas on Twitter and on YouTube that they want, mate. But in the end, why wouldn't they? Our money matters to us more than anything else.
Yeah.
I care about my money. Sorry?
It matters to me.
Yeah. So when Sony turns around and says we've got PlayStation Pass, why would you keep paying $70?
You just wouldn't.
Why? Why would you do that? You're still supporting Sony. You're still giving Sony your money, but you're giving it to them every month, forever.
Yeah, that's exactly what they all want, and they'll see this and they'll be like, oh, "Okay, yeah, we have to do this."
I just think maybe Sony believes that they won't get many subscribers, which I don't know. I'm just saying, like maybe that's what they believe, which would be odd to me.
It depends. I think. Look, oh man, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this probably, but when you think about the genre variety, right? That is why right now, unless they pay for them, they haven't got the studio count to do one huge AAA game a quarter, which is Microsoft.
No, but that's why they're buying studios. That's why they're buying studios. I like look at what they're doing. Look at the job listings. You're starting to see more multiplayer focused stuff now. You're starting to see more games as a servicey stuff now. Like they're clearly ramping up to eventually launch their version of Game Pass. I mean, even Nintendo's doing it to an extent. Like the Nintendo online service, you get SNES games, NES games, Nintendo 64 games, Mega Drive games. They'll probably start to add other games to it. I wouldn't be surprised if they start to add, like, that. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo tested, like, think about it, right? You're talking about a company that doubled the price for Nintendo 64 and Mega Drive ROMs, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo, like, tied a release of an old game to Nintendo Switch Online, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you know how there's been the rumors of Zelda Twilight Princess, the Zelda HD stuff, like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, whatever. I can't remember the exact rumor, but there was rumored to be remakes or remasters of those older Zelda games. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nintendo tie one or two of those to Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
So you want Twilight Princess remastered? It's part of Nintendo Switch Online. I would not be surprised in the least to see Nintendo try that and see how it goes. I mean, if they're ballsy enough to charge double for Nintendo 64 ROMs, then I wouldn't put anything past them, like at all.
Well, yeah, come on, it's Nintendo.
So and like I said, so even Nintendo is kind of dabbling in that Game Pass model in a way, not as direct as Microsoft's, but in a roundabout way with games and subscriptions and stuff. Like it's clearly the future, clearly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't like. In the end, because right now everyone's fear around Game Pass and subscription models is that it will change the type of games we get. Ultimately, that's everyone's fear. Everyone's fear is that if Sony does a Game Pass model, they're not going to do their single player bangers. Yes, they are, because that's what's going to get people to subscribe to their PlayStation Pass.
That is their HBO. That's their Apple original.
That's right. That's what's going to get people to sub to it. And then all these other studios, your Fire Sprites and Blue Point, they'll do the smaller stuff to fill in the gaps between the big tentpoles. That like, how are you not seeing that that's where it's heading? How are people not seeing that?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it's just, that is what Sony's gearing up for. It seems so obvious. Like, they're going to do it. It's just a matter of when. And I think whether Game Pass explodes or not next year will play a role in that. I think.
Yep. That was a tangent. But it was technically...
Well, the last question was Somnia's, so...
We got a super chat a while ago.
No, we read them.
Up.
You read it.
Which
Nick
one?
read it. If you're talking about the one from Eric B, or the one
you're
from...
right.
No, I read
the other one from Eric
failed.
B.
You win.
Nick read both of them.
Yeah.
You're now the worst producer.
I know. I didn't see there were two and that he read them both. I'm so used to Nick not knowing how to read. He always surprises me.
Well, fair.
No,
fair.
I read them.
But
and Britt,
anyway,
I'm not wrong.
It's 3 a.m.
I'm not wrong, mate.
3 a.m. It's 3
gonna
hours. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we made
but
I
it's
can't believe
3
this went 3 hours. I thought
I
this
know.
was going to be a short one. I
When
can't believe
it
it
hit
went 3
midnight,
hours.
and I was like, "Yeah, we'll be done by 1." I was like, "We'll be done half hour." I'm like, nah, it's 1 a.m.
Hold on, what time is it for you?
1 a.m.
Yeah, it's 1.
Yeah. We started
One's
at
not
10.
that bad on a Saturday
We
night.
started at 10.
Yeah, but
Like,
one's not that bad on a Saturday night, man.
No, I don't. It doesn't bother me. I'm not like freaking out about it, but it did make me laugh. I looked at the clock at like 11:30. I was like, yeah, we'll be wrapped up midnight-ish.
Oh, yeah. I thought, this would be a quick one.
But hey, things happen. Tangents happen. Our wonderful community
Duckwing
is
Duck.
talkative. Yeah, Duckwing Duck. Things change.
Things change.
I know it's a quieter episode this week. It's a little bit more chilled as we chat through mostly around Halo and future and what else is going to come. But we're in the home stretch now, Halo fans. Soon, and then I think everybody at XboxEra, once we've got the last few sort of December big releases out of the way, everyone's going to take a little break, and just hang out and play games with all the community instead of constantly trying to be at the forefront. Because frankly, there'll be no more games being released that need to be written about. Hopefully, keep me honest.
Oh my god!
But yeah,
of all the things I was worried about appearing on Reddit,
there you go.
I wasn't expecting that one.
Why? What's appeared on Reddit now?
Ubisoft games are coming to Game Pass soon.
What? That's from like... You didn't even say that today.
I know.
Reddit sucks. That is ridiculously...
It's from a tweet. It's from a tweet.
Never mind. Anyway, right. We love you lots. I'm going to go to bed. It's been a blast, as always. I'll probably spend all day tomorrow playing some video game. Can't think what one, really.
Eat shit.
And yeah, it's been very fun.
I'm going to play Immortals. I liked it.
And enjoy it. I'm actually...
Until 343 gives me SWAT, I've got Immortals to keep me busy.
There you go. But yeah, I'm hopeful that very, very soon, as soon as all the work's done, looking forward to getting some community games in on Halo with everybody and, doing some big team community game nights and things like that. So until then, take care, stay safe. We'll see you on the forums. Give us a shout. Let us know how things are. And we'll see you guys next time.
Ciao for now.